Alright everybody, welcome. Welcome to this show. We got a good show tonight. We're going to be doing some Elden Ring, making a tier list, which is going to be really good. We've been wanting to do this for a while, and we're finally going to get the chance, so it's going to be really good. What's up? You like the sauce? Good to see everybody. We're going to be doing this tier. We haven't done a tier list in a long time. I think the last one we did was maybe Genshin Impact, a very long time ago. We did the demos for Genshin. There's so many now. That'd be a very hard tier list to make. I think it was hard to make back then. So yeah, I think it's pretty significant. How you doing, Campfire? Yeah, shout out to Campfire. Campfire set me up with these links to be able to make this list. I really appreciate that, man. Hope you're having a good night. But yeah, this is gonna be good. It just gives us an excuse to look at all of the awesome Elden Ring cutscenes, which are really good. Well, I shouldn't say all the cutscenes, but all the boss cutscenes, which are actually really well done when you think about them, especially compared to other FromSoft games. I feel like they really weren't a thing as much up until Bloodborne. Like, I'm trying to think, but I feel like they're just not really a thing up until Bloodborne. I'm trying to think. Dark Souls. I feel like Dark Souls doesn't have any cutscenes for the bosses. You just start fighting them, right? Looking forward to the chatter. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be fun. Sekiro has. Okay, so Sekiro has them. Okay, so that's one game. Yeah, I know Bloodborne has some. Thinking back to it. Yeah, but I feel like Dark Souls 1 definitely doesn't have any. And Dark Souls 2 and 3, yeah, I feel like they don't have them either. Maybe? No, they have like some near the end. I think Dark Souls 3 does. But yeah, anyways, we're looking at Elden Ring. It's gonna be really fun, and I feel like this game, either way, really stepped it up. And I think the best thing that Elden Ring did, particularly after Bloodborne, is to make the story just a little bit more digestible. Actually, probably a lot more digestible than Bloodborne, which probably has one of the coolest lores, but at the same time is just so vague, and it's so rich that I wish they were a little bit more distinct with it. So yeah, this feels really good. This feels really powerful compared to it, and I like how the story was just a little bit more clear. Yeah, tier list should match the video I provided too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Campfire. I really appreciate it. And you made the tier list too. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, he made the tier list. He provided the video, so we're gonna check it out, and we're gonna rank them. And I think we'll find a different video for, yeah, we'll get it. There's a separate video for DLC bosses, which we'll pull up. Because there's some good ones there too. But yeah, I'm really excited, and I think generally it's just gonna be fun to react to all these videos as well, because it's been a while. And there's some really good. It's actually gonna be, I think it's gonna be more hard to call any of them bad or not S tier at this point, because I really like all these videos. And yeah, it had a real sense of placing you in the world. Like I said, Dark Souls is more like just kind of reading the boss name, trying to figure out what's going on. But Elden Ring, like they'll tell you stuff. They'll tell you a good amount of stuff in the scenes and kind of give you context for what's going on. So I always thought that was cool. And just a little bit more of a holding your hand with the story, which I really think they should continue to do going forward with their stories. Because there's still plenty to uncover in all the items and stuff. But I think just by the nature of how big Elden Ring is too, they had no choice. Like, they had to provide some context, otherwise it would just be random fights, But it's quite crazy how well they did, especially because like there's some pretty in-depth side quests too, which have a lot of voice acting and give you a lot of story. Like the Ranni quest line is actually really long. I remember, I think, yeah, I finished it because I got the Ranni ending, and yeah, it goes on for a while. And there's definitely not. Let me think about it. Yeah, there's no cutscenes in the side quest as far as I remember, but they do keep these big kind of benchmark boss fights on the main quest with some great cutscenes. Yeah, I'm excited. I thought they were well directed too, so it's gonna be cool. Check them out for certain. So yeah, we'll be going through them. I hope everybody's having a great night. It's been a bit of a chill day. Just relaxing, some family time, hanging with Aaliyah. It's been pretty good, and yeah, pretty awesome. I think Aaliyah's working out now, which is awesome. And yeah, Aaliyah's reading some cool stuff too, which is related to this. So that'll be fun to get into. What's up, Akaria? Good to see you. And I hope you guys are doing great. I know the Warcraft thing is coming out soon too. Main one I remember from Ronnie's quest is the one where you put the ring on her finger. Yeah. That was oh, that is a cutscene. Wait a second. Well, there is a cutscene on the side quest. Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder if that's the only cutscene in the set. We got to research this now. I'm interested, but yeah, I forgot about that. Very interesting stuff. Yeah, we'll have to think about it. But anyways, we know that these scenes are probably the most significant cutscenes in the game, alongside, like, you know, when you light the fire in the mountaintop, right? That's a big one. It's kind of like there's a lot of environmental scenes like that when you kind of get to certain places, and yeah, but it's cool. New patch tomorrow. We're going to the Goblin capital city. Oh man, I remember you telling me something about that last stream with WoW. That's exciting. That's really exciting. We had a really good time on viewer choice last time as well, ladies and gentlemen. So hope you guys enjoyed the show. It was a good time, and I'm looking forward to the next one as well. What's up, Night Fury? How you doing? Hope you're living the dream. So yeah, we're gonna see what this is all about. But yeah, it's funny because I would almost say spoilers for this, but it's really not that spoiler. Like, they're gonna talk about a little of the plot and stuff, but I mean, you know, 99% of the content in these games is the gameplay and your personal character journey. What's up, J-Rex? How you doing? Good to see you. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. We'll start in just a second. I'll do a YouTube intro because I feel like this one could be a really fun YouTube video to put up. I do feel that. Hey man, what's any specific criteria you're going to be using to grade the cinematics? But you know, that's a really good question. I think in the context of this, something that came to mind when I was thinking about it before the stream was that I feel like it would be really cool to grade them by, of course, cinematic quality, right? But also, what do they do for the story? You know, like, what are they voicing in the story? Is it just visuals, which is great? But there's a couple of these that come to mind, and when we get to them, I'll mention it, that really set the tone. There's also a few of these that are, I would say, in a very well done way, very referential to other material that has inspired this game. So I think what's really going to stand out to me is the more wholly original stuff that is incredibly well made and is going to provide context for the story. Considering this is the only cutscenes of the game, right? It's like there's a lot of weight on these cutscenes, right? Ooh, I like that. That's actually a cool one. I didn't think about Campfire. How well it conveys the power level. So I think what Campfire is saying, right, is that the criteria will be, you know, for example, Malenia. Everybody knows about Malenia. If you see that boss cutscene, does it voice the fact that Malenia is going to kill you like 200 times? Which is a really valid point. So that's something else to look out for. What's up, Aaliyah? How you doing? How's the workout? So yeah, it's really exciting. Thanks for that link, Campfire. So yeah, man, it's exciting. I'm excited to see what happens here. But yeah, we'll get into it in a second. I'll do a YouTube intro and we will begin right with the beginning. Right with Margit, the first boss of the game. Also, it's worth noting, I'm assuming everybody knows this who's played the game, but if you haven't played the game, there's a lot of bosses in these games. I think in Elden Ring there's well over 100 bosses, in fact. Most of which, the great majority of which, do not have any sort of cutscene. You just start fighting them like you would in an older Dark Souls game. You walk in, you fight, it says the boss name. You defeat them, and there's no cutscene. That being said, are there any bosses where there's a cutscene that comes after the boss? I'm aware that the DLC has one of those, right? There's the DLC. Oh my goodness, Aaliyah. Aaliyah Will is raiding the stream. Now this is an auspicious day. Welcome, Aaliyah. And the aliens. How are you doing? It's good to see you, my love. She is raided once again. But yeah, we're really excited. It's going to be a good time. And like I said, we just get to watch these awesome scenes. But it's worth noting that there actually is one of the scenes in the DLC that has a cutscene afterwards, which I don't think we'll cover today. So we're going to go pretty much just based on the intro cutscenes. Also, just as far as the lore of a different last name soon. Ooh, different last name soon, you say? Whatever could she mean by that, ladies and gentlemen? I made this tier list after looking for one, so Phil is arguably going to be the first person to rank them like that. That's really fun. That's really fun, Campfire. Thank you for making it again. Shout out to you. Been wanting to do this for a bit. Just was waiting for the opportunity to come up to get it done, but I'm really excited. And yeah, I think the other thing that comes to mind is how well does it voice the sort of lore of these characters? Now, keep in mind, a lot of these scenes are meant to be mysterious. They want you to dig into the lore of this character. For example, Margit you're not meant to know who he is at the beginning, just straight up, and you'll figure it out later in another cutscene. But at the same time, you can say a lot about someone, right, without revealing their whole identity. So it's going to be something fun to look into as well. It's going to be very fun. So yeah, why don't we start? It'll be awesome, and we will go from there. But yeah, you know, feel free to provide your thoughts as we go through. I am going to plan to edit this as a separate YouTube video, but you know, while we're here, we're live, we're having a good conversation, we're talking. So we'll see how tight I end up editing it, but I'm really excited to figure this out. And of course, just to react to all the scenes again. It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute. YouTube intro, yeah. So, all right, let me do that, and then we will begin our journey. All right, let me pop over here. I guess we're already on full screen. That's nice. Oh, okay, we're not on echoing. We're not on reverb. What to say? Okay. I'll just riff here. Today, I'm ranking all the Elden Ring boss cutscenes in a tier list. I'm going to be looking for several qualities and why I rank these videos. The first is, of course, just going to be cinematic quality. How good are these just based on the cinematic tools that were employed? How enjoyable, how cinematic did they get across what they were trying to? Secondly, I'm going to talk about the lore. How well did they voice the lore in these games? Because the lore is so important in Elden Ring. Also, I know there's a lot of mystery about these bosses, but just in the context of the scene, how well was it crafted? And considering this is the only cutscenes in the game, for the most part, there are certain environmental cutscenes. There's an intro, of course. There's an outro. There's an ending. But considering the cutscenes are so sparse in Elden Ring, they really have to voice a lot, and they carry a lot on their shoulders for that reason. So we're going to be ranking based on that as well. Again, thank you to Campfire Goth for creating this tier list for me to use. A member of our community, Campfire Goth, our mod. And what else should I say here for the intro? Let me think. Hey, what's up, Honey Bun Express? How you doing? How you doing? Let me think. Is there anything else I want to say? Yeah, I'll probably just start it up. Talked about cinematic quality. We talked about lore. Yeah. I think it'll be good. What's up, Ventarius? How you doing? Yes, looking forward to Night Rain. Also, Campfire Goth got it from me and Aaliyah. Thank you again. We are so pumped. I think it's in May, right? We gotta wait, and then we're gonna be doing stuff on the couples channel as well. Very excited for that. Who's excited for Night Rain? It's a very new direction for Elden Ring, but I feel it's gonna be good. I do. I'm also excited that they're experimenting a little bit, because I think it will lead to higher quality with the games. They have done. I mean, you could argue they've done some experimentation, but at the same time, the games are pretty consistent. I mean, you can pick up Dark Souls 3 after Elden Ring. It's like the same exact game. You know, the pick up item button is switched, right? Because there's no jump button. That's it. It's the same exact game as far as the gameplay. So, yeah, you pick it right up. I just saw it yesterday. My friend Juanito, I was like, you love Elden Ring? Check out the intro to Dark Souls 3. He plays it. He's like, yeah. He just starts tanking through the game, destroying everything. I'm like, yeah, that proves it, you know? So, yeah, it's very similar. But anyway, so for my intro, I will say, I think that's it. Yeah. May 29th. Oh, man. That's going to be fun. Also, at that point, believe it or not, we will know all the stuff about the Switch 2, the Nintendo Switch 2, which I'm very excited for. I feel like we haven't really talked about the Switch 2 on this channel as much, but maybe we'll talk about it later. Anyways, I think that's it for the intro, right? Yeah. It's good. Today we'll be addressing just the overall storytelling quality, the cinematic level, the enjoyment of the cutscene, and I also want to touch on the originality. How original was it? Even though it's a short cutscene, did it voice the lore and explain the character well? And did it provide value to the overall story of Elden Ring? So with that, let's get into it. If you enjoy our time together, make sure to check out my other Elden Ring content and my cinematic breakdowns. The camera said no. You need to add some new swords for sub over. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Oh, you're right. Yeah, I need to add, I think, what is it? The 3 months? I think I need to add one right now. And then, no, you're right. The year just came out for a couple people. Yeah, that's exciting. I will do that. What was I going to say? Yeah, I think that's it for the intro. Yeah, we'll get those emotes up, Night Fury. That's a great reminder. But yes, so now I think we're just going to start. Yeah, it is exciting. Yeah, I'm really pumped for that. Okay, let's do this. Now, we have the cutscene pulled up here. I'm going to test audio. Looks a little too loud, actually. How we doing? Okay, he's tweaking. That's pretty loud. Yeah. If that sounded all right, I think we're good, guys. Congrats, Aaliyah. Yes. Aaliyah is the best. We are so excited. It's going to be great. All right, so we have the tier list here. Thank you to Campfire Goth, provided us with this awesome tier list. And here we are. Very nice. So that's going to be good. We have, of course, you may be like, what Elden Ring bosses? Again, this is the bosses with cutscenes, right? There's a lot of cutscenes in the game. Or there's a lot of bosses in the game, many times more than this. But this is the bosses with cutscenes, so it's going to be awesome. You two are a couple goals. Thank you. That is very kind of you. Thank you so much. If you like our stuff, make sure to check out our Instagram page, Philip and Aaliyah. We've been putting a lot of time into it, and we're very excited about it. New project. So yes, I need to get some more real swords too in real life that I can show on the stream, because I'm really excited to start to build up a collection. I have a decent collection of swords, actually, pretty huge collection of swords already, but we gotta always be adding more. Okay, cool. So I think we're gonna be good. Let's take a look at it. So of course we have the usual S, A, B, C, D. Just a reminder, your BF collects swords. That's awesome. What kind of swords? So this is the basic tier list. Just a reminder for people, you know, nothing's bad. They're all good, but we're just using this as a scale to show if something's really, really good, we're going to voice that by putting in an S or A. Just view it as like a law of averages type thing. B is going to be, you know, great. Anything above B is like outstanding, incredible. C and D are going to be good. Okay. Yeah, good. There's always room for more swords. And it's funny because that goes for in-game inventories and for real life, right? And emotes. What's up, Jasmine? How you doing? Man, I've been trying to think of new emotes to add, like beyond the swords that will be badges. I've been trying to think of new emotes to add. We had some good ideas in the chat a couple weeks ago too, but anyway. All right, so we're gonna go through. I think the order in the video is fine because I can drag these in any order. It should be good. And I believe we actually do have the DLC guys on this list, thanks to Campfire. So we'll just pull those up after, which is perfect, and continue ranking them. I think, 'cause yeah, I see the Frenzied Flame, Impaler. Yeah. There should be at least 3 for the DLC, right? Yeah. As I look here, should be good. Yeah. Perfect. It includes basic. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Campfire. And then I think it's funny because now that I think about it, there's actually not, like, there's a cutscene for Radahn in the base game, but it's not when you walk up and fight him. It's like when the guy tells the story about him, right? So I'm actually not sure. Oh, no, yeah, it is on the list. So I bet they did include that in this video. So thank you, Campfire. Yeah. Starscourge Radahn is what they call him in the first game, right? Okay, awesome. Oh, no, yeah, we do have both Radahns. Okay, I'm very excited. All right. Very exciting. So let's do it. I'm going to start the first one here. And it's going to pop into full screen. And we should be good. So, yeah. I'm going to go full screen for just 1 second to maybe like say each person. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. Okay. All right, guys. So I think it's focused on the, goodness gracious me. Okay. Please focus. Okay. Hey, guys. So I had to make the thumbnail myself. Really? That's amazing. Thank you, Campfire. That's an awesome thing you did. All right. So this is for the recorded version. All right. So let's start the tier list, starting with, of course, Margit, the fell Omen. That's perfect. Classic. All right, let's begin. This cutscene, I think is fantastic. Oh, whoa. That ain't right. That ain't right at all. I'm so glad I caught that. Oh my goodness. This is the magic of recording live here for videos. Yeah, I did that before on like one of the viewer choice nights, and all the videos were like, you know, 30% of them were cut off there. Sorry about that, guys. All right, let's keep going. I love this cutscene. Just the windswept feeling. The sound of the wind and the aesthetic of the castle is just powerful.
By the flame of ambition.
I mean, just right there, it sets the tone so strongly, and I think very much so the aesthetic of Elden Ring, right? It's a ruined castle with like this feeling of, you know, glory has passed. Like it's got holes blown in it from a war. It's a gilded, beautiful castle, but it's crumbling and it's kind of rotting away. You know, what a great sort of setting the stage, setting the aesthetic for Elden Ring, right? And then he appears and it's just the voice acting's monumental.
Emboldened by the flame of ambition.
Right? It's fantastic. Anyway, I love how the sound design speaks here. Listen to the wind. There's no music. Jaw-dropping how he jumps that high. Chills, man. And then the wind blows the smoke away. Come on.
Someone must extinguish thy flame.
So I absolutely love it. Again, what does this say about the character of Margit? As we can see here.
Let it be Margit.
Something I like about it is this. Notice that he says, you know, foul tarnished. Like, he's very disgusted by your existence. But he still has this, you know, he does like a kind of formal challenge with his weapon. You see that? Let it be Margit the Fell. He doesn't just, he could have just landed on you and like crushed you into oblivion because he jumps like 200 feet into the air. No. He lands, lets the smoke clear, issues a formal challenge. I think it says a lot about Margit, right? I think it says a lot about Margit. It shows that he really is sophisticated, right? It's like he's almost from a previous age where, you know, even though he looks really ragged, he looks really kind of like he's been through some stuff. Look at his clothing, look at his features, but he still has this kind of air of royalty, right? Which of course is going to say a lot about the character. So man, also, what does this do? Foul tarnished in search of the Elden Ring, right? It's perfectly explaining what's going on, right? And I think in a rare stroke for a FromSoft game, it's perfectly explaining what is going on with the plot and kind of leading you into what the rest of the game is going to be. Even though it's just the first boss, which would typically just be, you know, a pretty basic cutscene. So I think this is amazing. I think it's a really strong start. And it's got just such an atmosphere. I love that there's no music in this. I think it's incredibly well done. So, I mean, man, the lore, the characterization, there's a lot said, just how the way he acts, like without his words. Like I said, the formal challenge, even though he's really disgusted. So it's like, why is he so disgusted with the Tarnished? Who is this guy? It's asking a lot of questions that are actually going to be answered later in the story. So it's a great setup, right? It's fantastic. And of course, the imagery of, look at how huge he is on the screen. And this is little old Tarnished, who's incredibly low level, who's very low level at this point. You know what I mean? I think it's really cool. Campfire says, I think it sets the tone very well. Yes. First major one sets the tone. Classic David and Goliath. Yeah, and he says David and Goliath in the chat, right? Look at this image, right? It's perfect. It's perfect. How you doing, Riel? Good morning. How are you? So yeah, really exciting. I think it's strong, man. How you doing, Alejandro? I think this one's incredibly strong. Now, keep in mind, a lot of tier list rankings have to do with context of seeing the other ones, right? So to me, this is also going to really be about, it's not just going to be about how I feel in the moment. I'm going to have to see them all. And I may change some rankings at the end when I have them all fresh in my brain. But man, I'm going to tell you, Margit. I got to put him at least A, maybe S, man. In fact, I think I'm going to drop it on S for now. It's just fantastic. Utterly fantastic. It does everything that we talked about, right? So far. And cinematically, it's beautifully done. I mean, to look again, it's just beautifully done. The atmosphere, the absence of music was actually really beautiful there, because a lot of them have this big, huge kind of epic feeling. And like I said, the kind of absence of music and that grand music. And look at this. Oh, such a good shot. And of course, the set. Look at this shot of the set. It's just absolutely beautiful.
Insert.
Absolutely beautiful. And it's funny because the shot before this is, of course, the shot that you see when you walk out and see the castle, and you're just tempted to, of course, pull your camera up, unless you're an absolute psychopath, pull your camera up and be like, what is this castle? What is this view? And then, of course, the cutscene starts. So we have to also take into context the environmental storytelling, which Souls games are famous for, are groundbreakingly famous for, in this ranking. So for me, it's an S. It's an easy S. Absolutely fantastic. So let's move on. The 3D model. Oh yeah, look at the 3D modeling. I mean, the castle is gorgeous architecture, but to then break it apart. I mean, look at this tower over here. It's completely split in half. You can see all the, like, the framing and the wood and the stone building it. It's great. You can see the relief sculpture here. Just been battered by the wind and rain over the years because it's so windy. There's Stormvale Castle, right? And there it is again, Stormvale Castle, using the kind of language and the visuals as you climb that mountain. That's another thing leading up to this. Climbing the mountain, it's just visually beautiful, and it says so much about Stormvale Castle. Also, this is not one of the guys who has the shards of the Elden Ring, right? Who is this guy? The mystery there is so good. Yeah. J Rex says S tier. Yeah, it's an S tier for me. It's an easy S tier. So next up, we're gonna skip to the next one. Of course, is Godrick, right? So let's go to Godrick and let's watch. This was a very good one for me too. And again, the voice acting just shines in these.
Mighty dragon, thou art a true born heir.
The creepiness.
Thy strength, O kindred.
And there it is. So what we have here is this beautiful thing where we've seen all of the grafted soldiers throughout the castle Stormville, and it's just horrifying. You're saying, who is this freak who would do this? Right? So the shot here is very clever. They've chosen to obscure the character's body, right? You get a little bit of a hint, but he is largely obscured by the cloak, right? So you have to kind of wonder what's going on. And then the hand is like, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fingers. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. And there's a creepiness in the like tenderness of his voice, right? It's really uncomfortable.
Lend me thy strength, O kindred.
Of someone who's such a monster.
Deliver me unto greater heights.
Really, of course, emphasizing the extra fingers there. Again, withholding. So good. It's gonna blow off. Fantastically animated by
Playing as a lord. I command thee. I am the lord of all that is golden.
There's a lot of shots that are revealing more information from where they start, right? So we start at the axe, we come up, and you see all the arms. I mean, you can count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, it's so disgusting, right? Asymmetric design, yeah, beautiful, beautiful design. I mean, I should say not beautiful design. It's terrifying. And yeah, I think they emphasize the length of his limbs is really, really unsettling because it's so not anatomically correct. It's been altered. And of course, his head looks really small and everything, right? It's just like, oh, God. So, yeah, really, really a standout to me, too. And just the voice acting sounds completely insane. This one shot here. Where did it go? I love where the wind blows. Yeah, this shot. Like I said, every shot is kind of revealing more. And even in this shot that's revealed the arms, we're not getting the full picture. So it's giving this really, really unique feeling of viewing something that's like too big to take in all at once. Everywhere you look, it's disgusting, right? Everything you look, it's just like more horrific to take in from every angle. I mean, that was well animated. Really well animated.
Playing as a lord.
And again, what is it doing? Tarnished playing as a lord. We're getting a sort of continuation of the Margit conversation. So we're getting more drip feed of lore here. Again, I would say much more in a much more obvious and straightforward way than the other FromSoft games, which I personally think is a good thing. They all have their own charm. The sort of complete blanket mystery of Dark Souls I think is a lot of the charm of the game. But in Elden Ring, I think they're really wise to provide a little bit more context here. So we're doing that. And I think that's it. I think that's it when he slams down the axe, right?
Of all that is golden.
And the characterization is really good. He's arrogant. He's crazy. He's talking about the dragon, and you're instantly like getting foreshadowing. I don't know if they're going to include I don't know if they include the halfway cutscenes. They do include that. Awesome campfire. I was hoping they would, because we got now foreshadowing for this. Avert your eyes because it's gross if you can't take it. I mean, it's a great scream. Great voice acting. Ugh. He's that desperate. I mean, we'll give it to him for willpower.
Truest of dragons.
We're reminded about the dragon again.
Lend me thy strength.
It's like we almost forgot because he's so disgusting. Oh. Also, like, how does this magic function? It has to be magic. Ugh. Wow, yeah. That was that was awesome. And just it shows so many things, right? Like it's horrifying, and it reminds you, oh yeah, he was talking to the dragon. It's like you're so scared by what you saw after that you're so focused on the fight, you probably forgot it, right? His grafting ability comes from his shard of the Elden ring. Oh, okay, there you go. So it is like a power of the ring. But what I love is it shows how desperate and the lengths that he will go, right? Which is kind of cool because it's almost a metaphor for everything that he's done thus far. He will do anything. He's going to tear apart this noble, beautiful creature, take off his own arm to do it. It's like, oh man, he's so far gone. And the atrocities that he's committed, you can only imagine. And in fact, you've seen them, or at least the aftermath of them, in the castle on the way. There's just like a pit of bodies. There's all this stuff, right? It's horrible. It was the woman, what's her name? The woman in red, who eventually ends up in the round table hold and does like, what is it? Spirit leveling and stuff, right? She explains a lot of what happens to someone who gets grafted and who gets captured here and how horrific it is. And then you see it in the castle. I think in a classic way, it's more terrifying to leave it up to the imagination. So we get this one little example of doing it to a dragon, but then you just see the bodies in the aftermath. You'll see the kind of grafted scions and everything, right? The particular enemies. And it tends to be just leave it to the imagination, which I think is very clever. So, all right, great. Let's go to the tier list. Let's go to the tier list and let's look at it. Where's our boy here? There he is. Oh, I just lost him. Where is he? Godrick. There he is. Godrick the Grafted. Where are we putting him, ladies and gentlemen? So, oh boy. For me, I'm leaning towards A. It's not as, like, it didn't have the hype of Margit for me because Margit was the first one and it just has so much style to it. He's going to get a lot of points for being scary because I think he was quite terrifying. So I'm thinking A or B. At this time, I think I'll probably say A because it was pretty crazy seeing the grafted and stuff the first time. It's not going to reach S for me, but great stuff. Great stuff with Godrick. A2. Oh, Campfire says A2. There you go. Yeah. It could have been more impactful if the player character was present. That's a good point. We didn't really see him. Yeah, we didn't really see him. How you doing, Felix? Good to see you. So yeah, it's going quite well. And now we're going to go back to the list and see the next one. But beautiful start here. I mean, he's just completely unhinged. Really nice shot there, pulling back to the wide angle lens at the end too. I like that. I'm learning, not ready. Okay, thank you. Yes, this is class time. Oh boy, this one's disturbing. I like how we get the player character here. Interesting outfit choice. Oh, what? So creepy, man. Oh yeah, that's masterfully done. Oh, it's so creepy. My book club, learning about that. Thank you so much, man. It's an honor.
Hush, little Calva.
So good.
I'll soon birth thee anew, a sweeting, fresh and pure.
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. All right. So I love the just sheer weirdness of this entire thing. It's beautiful, but it's also just so strange and dreamlike. Right? It feels like a dream and a nightmare mixed together. You're walking through, you have these really creepy guys, he like stumbles because he's looking up, right? It's really clever to show both the character looking up and the perspective of the shot, right? And then, of course, you're looking at anything but, the fact that he's like biting, like what? It's just so insane. It's a great shot. Again, tethering just that little bit of the character in the scene to have the character's boots in the scene. It actually does a lot for immersion, right? It's like, I found that equipment. I put that on. Fantastic. And of course, I think it's more terrifying because like that's your character. That's the person that you've been dragging through this journey. Ugh. I also like how the character just stares for a minute. It's like, you don't know what to do because it's so weird. Feels like a dream. It's creepy. And then of course the reveal that there's more, right? So well done. I mean, it just voices so much about the lore, so much about the world, but there's a profound beauty in the weirdness and otherworldliness of Elden Ring here.
I'll soon birth thee anew, a sweeting, fresh and pure.
And I think what I like is like the people in the scenes know so much about the world and we don't. So it's like we're getting a slow drip feed of information. I think that's what makes the game so special is you're trying to grasp, because you know so little, grasp at straws and figure it out. And that's the beauty of FromSoft game.
My beloved.
Now let's see the second half.
Have no fear. I will hold thee. Patience. Ye will be countless born forever and ever.
And it's also, I think what it is, oh, it's a great establishing shot there with the wide angle. What I love about it is, again, the weirdness of it in the dreamlike state. Why does it feel dreamlike? Is there's this floatiness. Like, look at how the character moves. This is a great character reveal, right? So we keep playing with where the camera is, right? So here our eyes are drawn down, right? They're drawn up in the beginning, down, and then our eyes are going to drawn up again. We're playing with perspective of us, of the viewpoint character. Using the camera, we're looking up, they look up, we look up again, and there's the real focal point. And it's this sort of slowness, like someone's floating underwater. Look at how her clothes are animated, but of course she's flying in the air. It's just dreamlike and unsettling, right?
Fresh and pure.
That's awesome, Alejandro. I'm excited. You beat Godrick on your first try. That's great. I think for me, it was a few tries, not too many. Margit was definitely harder, yeah. Like how the dim lighting helps highlight the boss and draws the guys. Yeah, definitely campfire, right? And then of course she has the subject here, which is you'll be reborn. It's like, what is this? Really clever foreshadowing for a game mechanic later in the game too. I think it's so clever. And then we get the second half. So let's enjoy the second half here.
My beloved.
So strange.
Have no fear. I will hold thee.
Also, I like how like she's not even acknowledging our character, right?
You will be countless born forever and ever.
And she's kind of going to transform the area here, but I love that shot. Oh, amazing. So eerie. The kind of like laziness and slowness.
Ranni the witch.
Yep, Ranni.
Mother's rich slumber shall not be disturbed by thee. Foul trespasser.
Oops.
Send word far and wide.
Ranni is
Of the last queen of Caria, Rennala of the full moon.
what a shot. Oh my goodness. So
And
beautiful.
the majesty of the night she conjureth.
Oh, it's so good. So is this Ranni like creating a simulacrum of her mother to fight? Is that what's happening, to save her? Anyways, I love it so much. If we talk about Margit being a sort of intro to the lore and everything like that, this would be, you know, the 200 series class, right? if Margit was 100, 100, this is 200, right? It's just like, it's fantastic. There's so much richness in the dialogue. It's just rich with lore that you can unpack, and because these games are well made and well written, you will get rewarded for unpacking that. So, awesome, Alejandro. I notice how dark so much of Elden Ring is, no surprise, but always some contrast or bright area. The details aren't lost. Yeah. I agree completely, Brejvik. The thing is, you know, oh, what's up, Sarcasm? Yeah, thanks for lurking. The thing is, you can have very dark scenes and stuff and make it very effective. But you still have to have some visual information on the screen. And you make a good point, because they won't have it so the whole thing is dark. They will use darkness to emphasize some focal point on the screen, right? For example, this shot, the rest of it's dark, but you can see her image there. Even this, it's quite a dark image, but we're focusing on the contrast of this black swirling mist coming up, which is of course Ranni coming to the rescue. What's up, Angelique? Interesting enough, Ranni fights you in the second phase. So yeah, isn't that cool? It's Ranni, but then later you do the Ranni quest, and Ranni ends up kind of recruiting you if you choose to do that. So it's fascinating. I mean, we have to talk about this shot. And it's cool that this transformation happens here. Almost in another layer of the dream, so to speak.
Rennala of the full moon.
I mean, come on, that's gorgeous. As they say, the full moon, you get this visual on the screen. It's this otherworldly, dreamlike space, which shows off the grandeur, and then this shot shows off the humanity.
The majesty of the night she conjureth.
Yeah, and that shows off the sort of humanity of the character. And then Ranni is cool because you would have actually met Ranni at this point if you chose to go sleep at the first ruins. What is it called? Where that guy Kale is. If you go there, you get that Ranni cutscene after you get Torrent. In which case you'll get a cool intro to Ranni. And she gives you an item, doesn't she? What does she give you? This is a spirit calling bell? I think is what it is, right? So anyways, it's really cool. Oh man, this is gonna be a hard one to rank. It's that one's fantastic. Just from a sort of it's like I don't want to say the word horror for this cutscene because it's unnerving, but it's also beautiful. You know, it's almost it's dreamlike, and there's no, doesn't feel there's a threat in the cutscene. In fact, it almost feels like the opposite. It feels like it's kind of lulling you into a quiet sort of slumber, you know, to relax you. So then there will be danger. But you know, there's no sort of like jump scare, so to speak. It's that kid in the beginning is like, ugh, what is going on? And the unnerving smile and everything, right? But it's very difficult. So yeah, we have all these different things kind of informing what's going on here. For me, it's a very good scene. It's a very strong scene. And I think generally speaking, very well done. I see no weaknesses in it. Do we put it as high as Margit? Ooh, it's tough. It's really tough. I almost want to rank her. Like in front, at the top of A, so to speak. But we'll see. We'll see. It's a very strong scene. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna have to see the rest to compare. But wow, this one I think is better than I remember. Yeah, I really like this. I was probably stressed. It's funny, like on so many of these, I was probably stressed because I'm like, oh man, I need to like finish this boss because I'm out of healing or something. Like, you know, get to the boss and do this attempt because I'm running low on resources because it's, you know, FromSoft game or whatever. So, but yeah, I forgot that Ranni fights you. That's really cool because afterwards, yeah, her mother is just like chilling, like, hey. But I also love how we're voicing an in-game mechanic with the scene, right? With the how do you say, what is it called? The rebirth, the respec mechanics. So I think that's really cool too, to kind of give even a lore for that. I mean, they typically do that in these games, but it's very well done. I do feel it's very well done. So yeah, we are going to, oh man, where to put it? Where to put her? I'm going to say A. I'm going to say A for now. I think, yeah, higher A, higher end of A. Let's see. Where are we? Rennala. Yeah, there she is. Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to put her above. I think we can switch them, right? Yeah. Above Godrick. Whew, fantastic scene. All right. Next up, we have. Skip ahead just a minute here. Next up, we have. And let me know what you guys think if you disagree. Oh boy, here we go. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be really good.
Graceless, tarnished,
He's still got that vindictiveness in his voice.
What is thy business with these thrones?
I love it. Again, recurring character now.
Godrick the Golden.
I love it.
The twin prodigies, Miquella and Malenia.
We know so much more about Miquella now, right?
General Radahn. Praetor Rykard. Luna Princess Rani.
All awesome characters. It's amazing.
Willful traitors. All.
Margit. Wow.
Thy kind are all of a piece.
I love it. Here we go.
Pillagers, emboldened by the flame of ambition.
I love how he has his like consistent lines. Oh, what a reveal.
Have it writ upon thy meager grave. Felled by King Morgott, last of all kings.
And look at this. We have a callback to the first shot where he's on the right side of the frame. We're on the left, smaller than him. Almost the exact same shot, almost the exact same framing, which is really beautiful. So when we look, we'll actually pull it up. So we have that because we have that lovely ability here. Should be around here somewhere. Look at this.
Margit the Fell.
Same shot, ladies and gentlemen. How beautiful is that? Right? Let's see if I can pull it back now. Yeah. Same shot.
Have it writ upon thy meager grave.
I love that shot of the sword too. It's beautiful.
Felled by King Morgott, last of all kings.
And Campfire mentions the wind effect is really cool too, because that's also a callback to Stormveil Castle. We get that consistent imagery that's been associated with Margit, who now calls himself Morgott, right? So the last of all kings. So again, it's intriguing because it's like he talks about all these thrones, traitors, but then here he says, I'm the last of the kings. Such a cool contrast to see someone who's like, I am the last of the kings, the last noble of this world, essentially. I am not a traitor, but look at him. Right? He doesn't look like a king. He looks like a, ragged sort of vagabond who's been, dirtied and all this stuff, has no one to attend to him anymore. Right? He's a king who has lost his attendants and he's just all alone at this place. And he talks about the thrones, but they ain't sitting in the thrones anymore, right? And I think it's a really cool contrast to have that. So yeah, I've always loved the character. He matches the ruins. Yeah, he matches the ruins. Exactly. They're all beat up by the wind and rain and elements. But he's still going. He's still there. And what I like about him is, even though he seems beat down and he seems like, he's on his last leg, he still looks and is very dangerous. And they voiced that with this shot. I love the difference. In the beginning, he says the same line. He's emboldened by the flame of ambition. He's kind of just like dismissive and grossed out by you. But here, no. He's angry. He's angry, and he's done. He's done playing around, so to speak. And here, he's revealed his full weapon, and here he's going to use it to finally put an end to this. And I love how he says that. What business have thee with these thrones? It's fantastic. Yeah. Morgott is interested as an Omen character who's a bodyguard of the throne, but he's also a prisoner. Yeah, and the lore of the Omen people is really tragic from what I know. Pretty much cast into the, the depths of the, subterranean, whatever it's called, that place. It's terrible. But because he was the son of a god, right? He was spared that, I think. Is that what happened to him? Slow approach, like he's not in a hurry to put you down. Yes. And that's what's cool, Campfire, is similar to the first one. He's taking his time, but we beat him last time. He underestimated us. right? He didn't use his full power. He didn't reveal his weapon. He's just like smacking us with a stick, essentially, which I think is cool. Is think about the implications. He's hiding even his weapon, right? Why would he do that? So it's almost like he is an outlaw himself, which is really fun. But here he says, no. This time you're done. Still very confident, right? He's slowly explaining what's happening. He's not worried about us. But now he's a little bit more clever in his approach to destroying us. So yeah, I think it's a great scene. At this point, I think we actually know Ronnie, Radahn. I'm trying to go through the list. I think we know most of the characters that he named at this point too. So again, that sort of lore jump, you know, this is the 300 series classes, like we joked before. At this point, you got a good idea what's going on in the world. Even if you're not reading item descriptions, you got a pretty good idea of what's going on here. So man, I gotta rank this one. This is gonna be really hard to rank. Let's see. Morgott, the Omen King. Oh, it's hard. It's hard to choose, but for me, oh man, you know, it's really hard. I almost want to say B, just comparatively to the spectacle of the first one. I almost want to say B. So I think B for now. I may move it up to A. It's a very, like I said, these are all so good that it's very difficult. This one just completely blows me with S tier. I'm tempted to say A. So you know what? I think A for now. I want to put him I'll put him behind Godrick on A for now. I think he may move down to B before the night's over. I need to see more. To say we were trying to kind of establish what is the quality of a B because they're all so good. So yeah, you know what? I'm going to say B. I'll put him at B for now because he already had his first cutscene. Has a lot of callbacks to the cutscene here. It's a very similar scene. So it feels kind of like it's echoing that one. And of course, the reveal here is that, oh, he's the king. What? We didn't expect that. So that's pretty cool. But beyond that, it does echo a lot of the first scene. So let's move on to the next one. I think this one's actually going to be Radahn. Yeah.
Last of all kings.
I love the design of this character. It's just fantastic. Anyways, let's move on.
Before we begin,
yes,
allow me to paint you the full picture.
Radahn. Here we go. Great character reveal. We see the horse first. Oh my goodness, he's dragging the body.
General Radahn is cursed ever to wander.
So sad, man. Such a noble general.
Eaten from the inside by Malenia's scarlet rot. His wits are long gone.
Great character reveal. Because he looks so grand, but there's a sadness here.
Now he gathers the corpses of former friends and foes alike, gorging on them like a dog.
Terrible. That's wild. It's interesting too because he's such a strong.
Howling at the sky.
And there's no cutscene when you fight him, right? Oh, this is the stars being unbound, right? I think this is what's happening here. Yeah. Wild. This part was really cool because it's using the environment to be like, go over there and check that out, which I think is really great. Wow. It's a bright explosion too. I like this one. Oh, okay, we're going to pause it. That's our next one. So yeah, I remember when this came on being kind of horrified. The cool character intro for Radahn.
By Malenia's scarlet.
And of course, seeing the horse. I feel like we get a better shot of the horse when we fight him.
Inside by Malenia's.
But that's such a cool thing to see. It's like, why is he riding a tiny horse and eating these guys like a dog? And there's a tragedy to it because he's such a grand general. Look at his armor. but he's behaving just like a disgusting beast. So it's fantastic. I'm gonna put it a bit lower. I'm gonna put it at C, just for the fact that everything else is so grandiose and so insane that it's definitely, I feel, not up to the caliber of the other words, mostly because it's just a sort of shot. It's someone talking about him. And yeah, S tier boss fight though. You're right about that. It's just a simple environment. There's a couple of shot changes, nothing too revolutionary. And of course, he's all alone. He's just out there, gorging himself. There's no character for him to interact with. And of course, we have the voiceover. So it's just a lot more of a simple scene. The other ones have a lot of cool stuff going on, and a lot of cool sort of changes in the environment. That's why, man, I might end up moving up Rennala to S tier by the end of this, because that was a pretty, as far as these are concerned, like a lot more complex than the Radahn scene there. So we'll think about it towards the end. Again, we need to get our final score by seeing everything, kind of reminding myself of each scene. So that was fantastic. Going to give it a C. Again, a C is great. It's good, but it's just not going to be the best in the game for me. So let's move on. Great scene of Radahn. And of course, Radahn's he's going to be back later for another scene. So
His wits are long gone.
there we go. There we go. Skipping ahead here. And he is unfortunately there. All right, here we go. After this. Okay, here we go. Next one is horrifying. You come in, you start fighting him, and then we get this scene. You beat him up a little bit. This is Rykard. Here comes the big reveal. Oh my goodness. It's horrifying. And of course, this is, if anyone's read Berserk, this is Grunbeld's reference from Berserk.
Very well.
Almost exact, like the design. Still unique in its own well, but the voice acting here is going to be the main star of the scene. And this is just, it's just so uncomfortable and disgusting. Ugh. Pure spectacle. Ugh.
Join myself and King as family. Together we will devour the very god.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good, man. Yeah, it's the voice acting together is really one of the standout parts of it. He's got like 20 fingers on this hand too, full of rings to show that he's a king. But yeah, if anyone's seen Berserk, his face is almost exact reference to Grunbeld from Berserk. Is this really cool warrior who turns into a dragon as his demon form. Almost the same exact thing, except he just has like a dragon head above the face on him like that. I mean, it's an awesome reference. Obviously, Miyazaki was friends with our beloved Miura, who did Berserk. So it's awesome to see him put this in, especially after Miura has passed away and everything. It's great to see these references living on in different and really popular games. So I love the scene. It's terrifying. It's crazy. It's gross. Look at all the I mean, this shot, the fingers and what's going on with his fingers? Disgusting. The rings to show that he's still a king, right? And of course, the body is like, this sword is made of people is the insinuation here. And then of course, I love how we focus on the sword for this scene to show off the grotesque spectacle. Then crazy. And then we get the close up, and then we pull out for, and there it is, that we get to include our character in it again, which is really cool, because at this point, I mean, this is mid boss fight, which makes it really cool. Also, something really significant here is you can see he was devoured. He actually willingly was devoured by the serpent. And then you can see the kind of nastiness here. His arms are coming out of the serpent. Ugh, right? It's so gross. And I mean, it's just a fantastic scene. This is gonna be a really hard one to rate too. The eye squint like he's judging us. Yeah, I think it's interesting that he kind of wakes up for the first time after he beat up the serpent for so long. He's like, do I really have to wake up? What's going on here? Disgusting. Also, it kind of shows that I think he's being swallowed up by the serpent and kind of losing his self a lot, which would make sense. The excessive amount of gold and gems really conveys a sense of decadence. Definitely campfire. And it's such a weird thing to see someone who willingly fed themselves to a serpent who's then still obsessed with, jewels and crowns and stuff. It's so crazy. So really, really unique take on it. And what I like is, though it's super referential to Berserk, it also is really original with little details like that. And, even though the face is designed very similar to Grunbeld, it still has a lot of unique elements and is a totally unique character onto it and has a really cool backstory. So I quite like that. And he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus fingers. He's got a lot of fingers. It's gross. So he actually kind of reminds me of Godrick in that way. But what a cutscene! I actually like that this cutscene happened halfway through the battle too. It was a surprise. I thought it was a really cool surprise because you're fighting. It's like, I guess there's no cutscene here. It's just a big serpent. And then by the time you get to the end of it, you're like, oh goodness gracious me! So I thought that was cool. So here we are. Let's take a look at Rykard, the Lord of Blasphemy. Oh man, this is a tough one. This is a really tough one. I'm feeling A or B. Maybe a B for this one. It's really tough though. It's really tough. It's quite disturbing. As far as the cinematic expression, it's very good. Definitely using the camera well, and they know their way around it to choose when to show less is really important. For example, with the sword, like I said, choosing to show this shot and just linger on it for a second is really cool. And then again, this arrogant posture, he's up like this. He's very arrogant. Posturing and the way he talks is cool because you can still get his personality out of it, though he just seems completely crazed and insane, obviously, because become one with the serpent. It's interesting too. It's like, because he has a shard of the Elden Ring, right? He decides to make himself the serpent, and then he wants to devour all the other people and the gods, right? To kind of gather it back together, which is actually really clever. But it is just gross and a half. And this is a great shot at the end too. But yeah, I like the surprise of it, that it happens after you beat him up and he starts on the ground here. It's super cool. And then he's like, who are you? I want to see him wake up again. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, this one shot I thought was so unnerving, because what am I looking at? And it takes you a second. It takes you a second to realize what you're looking at, and it's just a beautiful shot. And the surprise that he wakes up like Voldemort, disgusting. That's a great shot right there too. The kind of somebody said in chat, judgmental, but also just the feeling of like annoyance that I had to wake up for this, I think is really cool too.
Very well.
This is very well. I gotta do this. I don't want to do this. Lazy and stuff. Oh, it's just, it's insane. And this image is so much to take in. And just when you think you got it, no, not at all. He's gonna pull a sword out of his mouth, out of the serpent's mouth. And it's like, of course he would keep it in there for safekeeping, right? Like, what in the world? Ugh. Sound design. Insane. And just a complete lack of care for life in general, right? So yeah, really insane scene. I'm gonna have to put it, I think, at A at least. It's really, really well done. Where did he go? Rykard, yeah. It's really well done, man. I'm gonna put it at least A, maybe S. Maybe S. It's hard. I wonder when we'll see future films use imagery like this. It's tough to say imagery like this if you mean like the quality. This is very high quality for in-game, not pre-rendered in-engine stuff is incredibly high quality. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of CG and stuff now, but yeah, it's hard to say. John Carpenter, yeah. But I loved it. I thought it was great. I almost want to say S with it. Again, need to see the rest before I can kind of call it, but oh, that's a good one. All right, let's move on. I mean, the voice acting too is just, it's superb. Oh, this is going to be, what's his name? Mohg. Great scene. Oh man, after the DLC, this hits different, guys. It's different. Miquella. So cool. Ugh. Very berserk again. You know, the egg of the king. Very, very berserk. How you doing, Andre? It's good to see you. That's crazy. It's exciting. But yeah, we have here super another berserk reference, which I love. Like I said, I'm not opposed to the references. In fact, I love berserk. But we have to also see originality, I feel, for it to be high on the list. So here we are. There's a good twist here. Hi. And Mohg comes out. I like here that he doesn't address us first. He wants to pay homage to his lord first, you know?
Dearest Miquella.
What a voice, too. And he's Margit's brother, right?
You must abide alone a while.
Ugh. Wild. Now he addresses us.
Welcome, honored guest, to the birthplace of our dynasty.
Fantastic.
Dynasty.
Fantastic. Yeah, I really like it. It's quite brief, I would say. It's a little bit more brief than the other ones, but really powerfully done. I like the character gets expressed there. Yeah, very Griffith vibes, right? The egg of the king. I like that we get the character there by him addressing him first and then turning. He's not threatened. Again, kind of conveying how strong he is. It's like, oh no, yeah, this is going to be a tough fight, which this is a very tough fight. The funny part being, after you play the DLC, this is a very easy fight by comparison. Or I guess I should say that the DLC is so, you know, insanely difficult that this seems easy by comparison. But the effect of the Snow White movie when ravens summon the mirror. Oh, yeah, I think I saw one of those. I think I watched one of those on a plane ride once. The Snow White film, man, that was really cool. The birthplace of our dynasty, really cool. Mohg, this is also an optional boss, so it's, you know, it's a little bit shorter than the other ones, but I think it is still really good. I'm gonna put him at C for now. Compared to the other ones, I think there's a little bit jump in quality with the other ones, but it's still very good. It's just the length too that is there. How you doing? I would love some yogurt. Thank you so much. You're cold? Do you need anything? What do you need? Okay. Let me know if you need anything. You got the deer here? You need that? Just grab that. Yeah, it's just my face, so you know, you're okay. Awesome. Leah's just... It is the elf, yeah, Alejandro. Is it the elf? I always just hear like the Skyrim and, you know, the Skyrim. Yeah, damn elves. It's like, hey, excuse me. Anyways, let's continue. I'm loving this guy. This is a really fun exercise. Hard to rank him. But yeah, I'm gonna put him there for now. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. A character we've heard a lot about at this point. So they have to live up to the lore at this point, right? Mohg was a little bit more of a secret character. Here we have Malenia. Will she live up to it? I love that we go big, again playing with perspective, and then we follow the eye line. Great character intro. Wow. It's just fantastically done already. I love the silence. I love the slowness. It's dreamlike. Just like the other one. The falling leaves tell a story, right? One of the first lines of Elden Ring. Here we are. There they are. You see her armaments.
For so long.
A dream mentioned. So great.
My flesh was dull gold, and my blood rotted.
I love it. The casual conversing.
Corpse after corpse left in my wake. As I awaited his return.
There's a tiredness in the voice that I love. An exhaustion in the voice. Oh. Fantastic.
Heed my words. I am Malenia, Blade of Miquella.
That line. Burned into our brains.
And I have never known defeat.
Oh man, it's so good. And then of course there's a phase 2. There's a phase 2. So let's check it. Very Iliadic with the donning of the armor. Yeah, I love it, Campfire. Definitely very Iliadic. It's very Homeric. In this shot right here, I love that they take the time to linger on the arms and armaments here.
My flesh.
Because in this world, for this character specifically, it's such a part of her character. Also, this is a prosthesis for her, right? So it's a huge part of her character.
Gold.
And we've learned so much about the Scarlet Rot and seen its effects on the world at this point. So this is like, you know, if we talk about the others as 1, 2, 300 classes, this is like, you know, this is about as in-depth as you can get in the lore, right?
Blood rotted. Corpse after corpse left in my wake.
I love the exhaustion. In this part, this line, as I waited for him, I think I missed it. I waited for him to return. I love that line.
As I awaited his return.
And as I awaited his return, it's like she's been waiting a while, right? She's been waiting a long time. And I think that's what's so sad here. It's like, oh man, she's been here a while. As I awaited his return, we also know from the lore now that Miquella has been snatched away from that tree where he was kind of regenerating himself, right? If I'm getting the lore right. So, and she was like holding the tree and in a sense grieving, because now we know that Mohg has Miquella in that egg of the king that we saw. So it's like, whoa, I feel like she doesn't really know what to do right now and is going to take it out on us, which is really cool. Exhaustion, reluctance maybe has fought a lot of people in her life, doesn't want to do it anymore. But I will say she still has one thing that she's happy to do, and that is to defend her brother, right? So it's like, oh no, this is the one thing that could keep her fighting, and we're here. Oh no. So I love that.
Heed my
And we've heard that line a lot.
known
But yeah, I love this shot. And seeing how it works, I thought is so clever right here. Yeah. Getting the shot of the prosthetic arm here and how it works, I think is really good. She needs a hug. Yeah. Reminds me when the Lich King awakens in the Frozen Throne. Oh, there you go, Andres. Yeah. Have you seen my analysis on that one? That's what started the Warcraft journey, right? Yeah, I love this. Like, you can kind of see how it functions. It's really beautifully done. And wasn't it, tell me if I got the lore wrong, wasn't it Miquella who like helped her with this, or is it something else? Yeah, I love it. And just the way she swings the blade and kind of just like is very adroit in the way she stands there and everything is just so indicative of a warrior, of a high level warrior. You know what I mean? It's not overcomplicated flourish. It's not even forceful. It's just like a perfect cut. And it's like, oh man, we're fighting someone very high level here. An incredibly powerful warrior.
And I have never known defeat.
And then there it is. And you hear, and this is why the voice acting's so good and the direction's so good. With that line, we get back the confidence. And it's like, yeah, you will not be beating me. All right. And there's a little bit less of that sadness and more just like steeling herself for battle. So I love it. And then let's go on to the second scene. Say, already fantastic. Fantastic scene. Oh, goes down. Classic situation where you should finish the enemy off. But our character just gives it a second, you know? very Goku, our character. They want to see that second transformation. You know, they want a true challenge. Now, I love that. They actually kind of sell that by showing where Miquella was in the tree. And then when you come back, it's different. Thank you so much, my piece. I appreciate you so much. She brought me, look at this, guys. She's brought me a beautiful thing. Look at that. Granola. Greek yogurt. Cafe Aaliyah has spoken. There she is. Absolutely. Absolutely. You are the Miquella to my Malenia. Wait, that's not right. You are the... You are the... You know what? It's Elden Ring. It's George Martin. Let's not even get into that. Let's not even start those comparisons because they're only going one way. Let's be honest. It's going to be you know what. So let's not even go there. How you doing, Monet? Hello, Phil and Philadari. I hope your day is going well. Thank you so much. I hope the same for you. I was over at Brianna White's stream. That's great. How you doing, Neko Lady? We'll just say she's my Elden Ring. Yeah, there you go. In search of the Elden Ring. That works, yeah. The Elden Ring to my tarnished. Okay? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is good yogurt. All right. So let's continue phase 2. Yeah, this is fantastic. If I remember. Of course, Miquella is gone. We hold, and then...
Wait.
Oh, she said wait. Nope. The cocoon. And now the music comes. Powerful music. I want to note, for the first time in all these scenes. Oh. She levels up and ascends once more. Wow. Amazing. All the butterflies.
You will witness true horror.
True horror. The music's beautiful. Oh my goodness. Wow. I love how at the end of all these scenes we linger. We linger on the kind of what we're fighting at the end here. And this is just with the music swelling up and everything. Yeah, when the Latin choir starts, you know you're in trouble, right? In a JRPG. This is a JRPG, believe it or not. Elden Ring is a Japanese RPG. A lot of people don't know that because it's so Western looking, the aesthetic. The cocoon looked like a flower for a moment. Yes, yes. This is, of course, the scarlet rot blooming, which is, she's responsible for this disease spreading across the world. And she did it first when, and she's the goddess of rot, I think is her, like, purview, right? She looks awesome. Yeah, she is Malenia. She is like the, well, I should say the previous hardest boss in Elden Ring. She has been ousted. Her throne has been ousted by another who we'll get to in a few minutes. But yeah, it's so fantastically done. I mean, chills. I think when we watch this scene, it really echoes, as far as I think, like one of the most awesome boss fights in FromSoft games. And it's interesting because I feel like a lot of us forget this because we're so frustrated with this boss battle. But as far as the cinematic is concerned, both cinematics are fantastically done. And the fact that we get two, I mean, now hold on a second, guys. No, we had Rennala. Rennala had two cutscenes, first form and second form. I think that's one of the only ones, along with Rennala, that gets two cutscenes. So anyway, the first scene, as far as I know, I think the Rennala one had music in the second part too, with Ranni, where you fight Ranni. But I'm like, man, this is epic. This is just pure epicness. Like when the music hits right here and she kind of opens her wings. I want to see that one more time. Incredible. Wow. Yeah. It's a fantastic shot. I love the shot because we get the shot of the tree which is Miquella. He was in this little cocoon here before Mohg stole him to put him in that Egg of the King thing. And here we have Malenia on the left. So it's a beautiful, beautiful shot, placing her on the left third of the frame. This raining butterflies, the broken tree where she's kind of lost her purpose. It's just such a beautiful image. Beautiful image. She ascends into the upper third on the left side. Yeah, it's just a perfect framing. It's a great shot. And of course we have this lovely sort of spotlight coming from the ceiling. So it gives it a dramatic effect. Looks like she's on stage, you know? She ascends despite the fact she ironically sacrifices her humanity. Yeah, totally. You will witness true horror. Like she's no longer acting as the honorable warrior, right? Yeah, we're gonna have some class. We're gonna put on our armor as we chat and stuff. No. Now she's just like the goddess of rot, which is interesting because our character, quote unquote, I would say like probably thought she was dead. We're supposed to believe our character thought she was dead. That's why we turned away. But I like to think that, you know, we treated it with respect. We didn't like, destroy the body, you know, which a lot of people would as a warrior. You know, because it was such a hard fight. Make sure she's dead. No, our character was just kind of, you know, letting her rest. So it's interesting that she's just like, I still have to destroy you. It becomes this monster. But it's cool because she's such a sort of sophisticated warrior in the beginning, kind of reciting poetry. Again, it's very Homeric, like Campfire said, and putting on her armor and arming herself for war. Very Achilles, very Hector, very Patroclus. And then of course comes and turns into this absolute monstrosity. I love it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Miquella who made the prosthetics for her, which adds a lot of complexity to it as well. But yeah, there it is. Amazing. So, all right, we're going to go over here and we're going to rank. It's going to be very hard to not put her on, where are we? Malenia, Blade of Miquella. It's going to be, I think I'd be remiss not to put it on S for now. Just a fantastic scene. Absolutely beautiful. And we're going to continue down the list now, but yeah, just so well done. I think one of the coolest boss fights. Again, I think a lot of us kind of remember the frustration of the fight more than we do the cutscene, because you see this one time and then a lot of us fought her like hundreds of times. It's very hard to even remember. You have Smile on Blu-ray. Awesome, Alejandro. That'd be a fun watch. Butterflies, Neko, yeah. Betsy says hello, Leah. Okay. Kind of a reverse Guts in terms of Berserk. She becomes a monster to slay a human. Yeah, I like that, Campfire. All for a human too, which is, you can tell, you mentioned reluctance before, Campfire. I think it's definitely prevalent here. It's like she will do anything to protect her brother and his works, which is, of course, this entire fortress was built by Miquella, this entire city. So she's going to protect it. She will kill you. Maybe a bit reluctant to do it because she is also an honorable warrior. But when it comes to family, she's going to do it. So that's an easy S for me. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. All right, next scene. Oh my goodness. I'm thinking about it. Oh God, I'm thinking about it when I say this. Maybe the worst boss in Elden Ring. Probably the worst boss in Elden Ring. So frustrating. Ow. The Fire Giant, ladies and gentlemen. I think one of the most frustrating boss fights in all FromSoft. Yeah. Ugh. Gross. So I have a question. That is not the Frenzied Flame, right? This is something else. This is one of the outer gods, right? He looks insane. Yeah. He does look quite insane. It's pure spectacle, this particular one. It's pure spectacle. The Fire Giant is not really a character. He is a thing that represents, like, He's pretty much the last giant, as far as I know, in the story. And he is kind of representative of all the stuff that we've seen. We climb up Primal Fire. Yeah. One of the other gods. It's not the Prince of Flame. Different outer god, but just pure fire, primal fire. Okay, awesome. Thanks for the lore. So he's representative of all the statues we see coming up, and then it's like, oh, we gotta fight one of these guys, which is really cool. Turns out he's very formidable and very frustrating to fight, but we don't get an intro cutscene with him. He just starts attacking, and of course we have the second phase. It's cool, and of course we get this very lore-rich thing. He gets his eye to open, which is cool. He appears to literally sacrifice his own leg to awaken this primal fire, which, number one, says a lot. It's the implications of this particular god who gave him this power. It's like, wait, he sacrificed his leg to be able to use this flame? Pretty rough stuff, man. So very, very kind of cruel situation that he's in. And then I like how we linger here because you know something's going on. It's going to have to do with the lore. And of course, this is the fire, as far as I understand, the very fire that we use to burn down the Erd Tree, to open it up and burn the roots. So pretty cool kind of lore implications on why that fire exists and how we're going to utilize it in the what do you call it? Kiln, right? So it's really cool. But as far as the scene, it's quite short. It's a second phase one. He's not a character that we really understand. Does it advance the lore? Incredibly vaguely. I'm going to be honest. Incredibly vaguely. Because the eye is something you would have to look into and figure out about the outer god. It's not at all something that's going to be voiced in the story, in the dialogue at all. So I'm going to purely say it's for spectacle that he takes off his leg. That's kind of the crazy part. The eye opens is a really cool surprise as he has a face on him. But I'm gonna definitely put it on the low end for this sort of stuff. The fire giant, he's gonna be a D. That's an easy D for me because he's not having an important impact on the story, who Mohg does. And Radahn, we're learning a lot about this character, right? We literally get a narration about this character. The fire giant has neither of those things. So I'm gonna put him on D for that reason. Also, it's short. Also, it's kind of only spectacle, no lore. Like I said, you could argue the lore with the eye, but like, dude, you really got to dig for that. You know what I mean? There's really no indication of this. I think he's a clear D, just comparing to the other ones, right? So let's put it our first D. Again, not bad, just like not as good as the one we just watched, Miquella. I mean, fantastic scene with Miquella. So it's actually, I feel like he's also suffering for coming right after Miquella in this particular edit. Because wow, we just saw, I think, one of the coolest cutscenes in FromSoft history, right? Yeah, it is the perfect example of tough act to follow. Yeah. All right, let's continue. Yeah, very cool scene for sure. Oh, this is gonna be you know what, the Dragon King. This part was so cool. Classic Dark Souls. That is so well animated. Turning back time, right? So it's no longer crumbling Arumazelia. Yeah, Campfire God said it's a desaturation to denote something's changed here. Beautifully done. We awaken feasibly in the same place back in time. Again, I'm unclear on the lore about this part. If anybody knows, I'd love to hear about it. But I love this, and we're in this massive Colosseum. And then in the sky, there it is again, the perspective play like we do with Rennala. The really masterful use of that in all these scenes. I love how he's just frozen too. It's like, whoa. Went back to his time period. Ah, it's so cool. What an image, man. Just so striking. It's a perfect example think we were talking about this earlier. Elden Ring, I think, is a very underrated, beautiful game. I say this to Leah all the time when we play, right? Elden Ring is a beautiful game. It doesn't get its credit for that because it's all about the gameplay. It's all about the, you know, the grind and everything. This shot to me is a perfect example of how they use color very cleverly. Like we have a shot that's almost completely gray, brown. There's these little hints like the lightning of yellow in the character here. The whole thing is almost yellow. Just that little bit of extreme saturation that kind of adds to it, right? So I think it's fantastic. I think it's great. And this one's going to be pure spectacle again. Definitely some lore because, you know, we've heard at this point of the ancient dragons kind of in the way that we did about the giants, right? And then we're finally going to fight the guy, Placidusax, right? So, is it going to be up as far as S? No, it's not going to be, but it's really, really well done. And this is also another optional boss, a very optional boss. It's like insane to even find how to fight him. Yeah. But unlike the fire giant, this one actually includes our character, and we have the action of going back in time, and it also includes a kind of revelation. I don't know if I would call it of lore, but of world mechanics, of world building. Like we're able to go back in time and see a different time in Elden Ring and see the setting, how it appeared back then. So I feel like we're getting a lot of information from it as well, though it is still fairly short. It does do a lot. It does do a lot. See, for me, I'm feeling a C or a B. I'm probably going to put him in B. But you know what? Let me think now. Yeah. I don't know, guys. I think it's probably going to be a C because, again, Starscourge Radahn and Mohg did a whole lot of lore and character. You know, not a whole lot, but definitely a bit. So I'm going to put him in D or C. Yeah, probably D or C. Very good scene, but we do get a little bit more. We do a little bit more from the fire giant, so I'm gonna put him in D. I'm sorry, in C behind these guys. He may move down to D by the end. Like if there's nothing else that feels like that, I'll probably put him in D. I feel like almost everything else we're gonna get has a lot of kind of a little bit more like story significance. Just looking at the list, but yeah, we'll see. High B. Yeah, I could easily see this as B. I'm gonna do it in C for now, and we'll see what happens. But a very good scene. But part of the reason I'm putting him there is we got some bangers coming up, man. We got some crazy good scenes coming up. So, all right, let's continue to the next one. Yeah. There's a creepiness in the stillness of the scene too, which is really cool here. It's like unnerving. Yeah. This is a cool one too because part of this scene, if I remember, refresh my memory, is like, isn't he just there when you walk up to him? And like then he starts fighting, so he's not even animated in the scene. Right? Yeah, he's double-headed. Isn't it cool? But it's cool. It's creepy. So I really like that. All right, now, oh boy, one of my favorite scenes in this dang game right here. One of my favorites. Oh boy, the wind, guys. I feel like the wind is a character in this dang story. The way the wind is always like heard so clear without the music. It's always kind of revealing things. Super interesting. Like with Godrick's. She's gone rogue. Apparently she really likes, she's upset with the Placidusax ranking. And she decided to take a stand. Oh, there's the hat. See, it's a blessing in disguise. What did you... So anyway, she's upset about the ranking. What can I say? Take to the comments, take to the chat, and let's hear let's hear your take. I think Elite has dropped something. She's okay though. All right, so I feel like the character is almost the wind is almost a character here. like Stormlight Archive, right? It's fantastic.
Oh, death,
I love this line.
become my blade once more.
Oh, death. Once more? Like, it's just this... Oh, it's so good. It's the perfect FromSoft cutscene for me. So many questions asked. This is a second phase, babe. We didn't get a first phase. This is a second phase. Oh my goodness. So cool. Another massive Berserk reference here, of course, to the Berserker armor. And I love how we linger there. One of my favorite shots in the game. Again, it's tough because it's referencing Berserk so proudly referencing Berserk, if that makes sense. In a way that a lot of other stuff doesn't. A lot of other stuff feels like it's kind of more stealing, if that makes sense. It's more stealing from Berserk when it gets references. This is just such a reverential treatment of Berserk throughout all these games from Dark Souls on, or even Demon Souls probably. So in that sense, you know, I like to give it a little bit more credit, even though it's referencing the imagery so strongly here. This is a great character, and we don't get an outro for him. We don't get a second phase or an ending, as far as I know. Yeah. Oh, do we? No, we do. Okay, let's watch this. He's not in it, but we get the Rune of Death, right? Yeah, it's a very it's a very complicated lore, Neko Lady, but yeah, he's like a guardian wolf of another character, Ronnie. Oh, excuse me, is it Ronnie? No, it's not Ronnie. That was Blythe. Destined Death, which I think is a really cool idea. Campfire says very Homeric too, the lifting of the mortal trappings to reveal the god in it. Yeah, I love that. Absolutely. So let's take a look again. I just love the scene. To me, it is quintessential sort of FromSoft storytelling. Like I said, they're in on it. We're not, and we're gonna put together the pieces, you know, so to speak. The red dust looks like the Pharaoh plague that exterminated in Horizon. Oh, really? That's awesome. Inspired by, yeah. He's a shadow. Yeah, that's a good word. I think there's another term for them too. I'm forgetting. I need to hit the hay. All right, Alejandro, please rest well. Have a good night, all right? I love the way the dagger stabbed in the hand. Yeah, exactly. Like, this is just such a cool spectacle. Otherwise, and that's why I want to say, like, the Berserk shot at the end is great, but it's just so original besides that it feels like a little nod to Berserk fans, and the rest is so cool. Yeah, I love how the wind acts as a character once again. It's interesting, and it's something that I never noticed before this night. That's why I love analyzing stuff like this that you'd never catch, is this recurring imagery of the wind kind of participating and revealing stuff in the cutscenes.
Become my blade once more.
Once more, you know, it's just like, what? And then it's this, I think very cleverly, a very small sword that then transforms and just burns away his whole cloak. So beautifully done. And what another thing I like about it is Malekith in the whole game, when you see him, I think he's just called like the Beast Clergyman, right? He's a very sad, desperate figure. And if you follow his quest line, he's like, yes, I must, what did he say? Feed it me. Feed it me more. I need more. And he wants to eat the death root so then he can like get back the rune essentially, right? But the sad part is you get it all to him and he's still like, oh no, I'll never be satiated. Like my whole life is just going to be this torture. So it's a really sad character. But what I like about this is he gets this really kind of regal reveal, right? And also we knew that he had hidden away the destined death is the lore, right? So when we see that he actually kind of put it in his hand or whatever device that is, and he's taking it out to fight you is what's happening essentially, right? Yeah, you can see the sword glowing like that. It's just so cool. And this is my preferred armor in the game that I wear with my character after we brought his rune over to the three fingers. But I just think it's really cool, and you know, it shows that there's something else underneath this character. Even though he's just such a haggard, ruinous, sad character. And it's interesting because when we talk about Margit, it was a similar thing. When Margit says like, I am the last of the kings, it's like, man, what? He has no more attendants. He has no more people who he rules over, but he's the last king. You know, it's very sad, dilapidated imagery. And it's the same thing here, but then we see his greatness is under all that. Yeah, it's great, and it's intriguing. It's got this underlying sadness. Again, when we go back to this shot, all of these scenes have this underlying sadness, which has become indicative of the storytelling of Miyazaki and Miura. And I love how they sort of meld together in this, again, in my opinion, the quintessential example of FromSoft Miyazaki storytelling. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. So anyways, oh man. Oh, it's gotta be. It's simply got to be an S for me. I mean, it's just, like I said, I feel like that and Malenia are just the prime examples of their type of storytelling. It really is. It's fantastically done. So yeah, let's move on. But easy S for me. Just so awesome. And we get a lot of character interaction in this. So we kind of get a little lore character interaction showing that it's going to be a hard fight, because the phase 1's pretty hard in Malekith. And then he does that, and I thought it was a really unexpected transformation. A lot of the times the phase 2 will just be like, you know, he gets faster, he gets stronger, whatever. But no, we're going to show as he brings that out, it's like, oh, this is going to be a hard fight. And it's a hard fight, man. It is an unbelievably hard fight. I would argue that Malekith he might be right behind Malenia in the original game. Fire Giant, this is one of the reasons I think he's kind of like a foul in the game, is it doesn't even feel like the same type of fight. It's just like, there's this weird thing I'm doing that I feel like I have no skills in. So he feels quite different. But this, as far as the Malenia, it feels like the same type of battle, and it is just brutally difficult, but also satisfying. All right, let's move on.
The rune of death is unbound.
That's technically part of the scene. I love that. Rune of death is unbound. And then this is it, right? This is still...
The lands between are shrouded by death's dark fate.
This is still part of it. Easy S. Yeah, we get lore, storytelling.
But the flames will also burn the impenetrable thorns.
And look at that. Come on. Incredible.
Farewell it is then.
Historic even. They're funny. And we're still going. No, this is a different scene. This is crazy. This is the same scene. This really is the best. Yeah. Easy S, man. We're getting storytelling. Our character's in it a ton. Oh my goodness gracious. All tied to Malekith. Yeah, easy S, man. It's interesting too, because like, it's rare that we get shots of, that might be, yeah, that's the only time in the entire game that we've gotten like shots of the, you know, montage shots of the entire world and guys out on the field seeing the tree burn. That's never happened as far as I know, at least in these boss scenes. Yeah, that's an easy S. I would love a piece of popcorn. Thank you so much. I expected it to drop. That's so nice. Thank you. Man, she's providing me with so many boons tonight, guys. That's a lot of ash. Yeah, and then to see the capital like this, you know, amidst the contrast of the burning tree and stuff, just harrowing. Yeah. And then here we are with our next gentleman. Let's watch it. Yeah, that's the easiest S of all. I didn't even see it all, and I gave it an S. Yeah. Here we go. I love this scene. More lore. Someone we've heard about a lot at this point, but haven't seen yet. Let's see.
It's been a long while, Morgott.
No. So sad, man. Saying goodbye to Margit. Again, intrigue. What's the deal with this guy? Why is there a lion on his shoulder? Like, there's so many great questions.
Long and hard didst thou fight, tarnished warrior.
I like how he shows respect.
Burned by the grace of gold.
Very important.
Be assured, the Elden Ring resteth close at hand.
I also like how he says that. It's like a sign of respect. It's like, you will get it if you get in there. It's a character from the earlier scenes, Neko Lady, yeah. One of the other bosses. Kind of sad because we came to know him so well.
I am returned.
I love the voice. So cool.
To be granted audience once more.
Involves our character quite a bit. Yep. Great scene. Even stomps, which is a big part of this fight.
Upon my name as Godfrey, the first Elden Lord.
So good, man. That's only the first part. Music swelling up. Now, this scene is crazy. Is that Mufasa? No. What'd you say about my brother? Brother.
That will be all.
No.
Thou didst me good service, Siraj.
Classic. Again, it's like, what is going on? I have no idea, but it's so intriguing. He's killing his friend Lion, and what he's done is he has unleashed Horalu. Whereas before he was this reformed king, now he's back to his old barbarian self. And he's just absolutely insane.
I've given thee courtesy enough.
Ric Flair, yeah. So awesome. And you know you're in for a fight, because it was already hard. Already hard. And he bathed in his blood, which is like really awesome.
Now I fight as Horalu.
Warrior! I love it. And he like becomes a beast at the end, even the way he's speaking. You know? In the beginning, he's all Lord. You know, in the way he speaks, he's all honorable tarnished. Thou have fought hard. And then at the end, he's just like, I've given you courtesy enough, so no more courtesy. And he's just gonna fight as his original warrior self. I love the implied relationship with him and Siraj. So cool. And he was like this, you know, spirit who was, you know, sort of upping his rank, but also holding him back in some way. Really cool, right? Did they become one? It would depend on your interpretation, I think. But in a way, yes. I think because he bathed in him. My favorite fact about Godfrey's scene is that you can see a guidance of grace pointing from Morgott to the time. Can you really? Grace is guiding the First Lord to fight the time. Is it? We got to go back and see that campfire. I did not know. Let's go back.
A long while, Morgott.
An incredible detail, if that's the case. Did it really appear between them? Oh. Yeah, you can see the sort of ember. There it is. You can actually see grace.
Didst thou fight?
You can see the grace connecting them.
Warrior.
Oh yeah, that's an incredible, good catch, Campfire. I did not catch that. Fantastic detail. This is gonna up it, man. This is gonna up it the lore. This is a perfect example, man. We have visual language that we've seen the entire game. The guidance of grace coming back into the scene. Look at the grace.
And hard
connecting.
didst thou fight.
And not only does it function as just a fantastic confrontational shot,
and hard didst thou fight.
it's an unavoidable fight.
Tarnished warrior.
This is our fate. We're gonna fight to the death.
Spurned by the grace of gold.
Fight to the death right here, right now. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Be assured, the Elden Ring resteth close at hand.
Yeah, I really like it. Yeah, gorgeous framing. I really like it because, like Campfire said, I don't know if it means the grace has abandoned us or is, you know, pitting us against him. What I like to think of it is that whoever wins, like, this is the moment of fate. You know, this will decide who's going to be the new Elden Lord, right? This is the most important moment. I think that's super cool. All right. Technically, no, he killed his first Elden Lord persona to return to his own personality before he became the first Elden Ring, right? Because he kind of like reformed himself. Elden Ring is the title. I think Elden Ring is actually the sort of circle of godly power. All right, if I'm correct, and the Elden Ring being shattered, what happened is everybody picked up shards of the Elden Ring to get really strong. Yeah, and you can see like the remnants of the ring in there. And on the next scene, yeah, this vaguely putting it well enough, right? I'm sure there's some details I'm missing, but fantastic scene. That's what the rune shards are, right? When you see the little, you know, half circles and stuff that you get, or partial circles. That's what it denotes. So it's very fun, and it makes sense with the story. Yeah, I mean, this is just that definitely ups it for me. That detail, very, very subtle, but it's kind of why I like it. You know, it's there for the people who are really been invested in the lore. That makes sense. Again, the Siraj, it's got all the stuff we just talked about, the sort of intrigue. The voice acting's fantastic. Just everything's great. Yeah, you kill the demigods, yeah, and you take their powers, and that's just what the story is. The Elden Ring is like a metaphysical force that conducts the law and rules of the world and the universe. Great way to put it. Great way to put it. So, oh boy. Here we are. This is, of course, Godfrey, first Elden Lord. Oh man, where do I put him? Honestly, that one detail I think moved him up a block for me. I think I'm gonna put him. Ooh, this is so tough because like everybody that's left is fantastic. Yeah, a lot of people are saying S. It's either A or S. Oh man, it's a tough call. I guess it's not a bad thing if I have several in S, because it just shows that it's like as best as they could be, right? So it's not a bad thing if I have a lot in S. I don't think it really like tarnishes the list in any way. So yeah, you know, I feel we'll put it in S. Yeah, I'm gonna say A or S, but does it lack anything? It's like, man, does it lack anything? And the question is it better than the Rennala 1? It's definitely better than Godrick. I think we can agree it's definitely better than Godrick. So that's an easy, like, at least putting it above him in A. Is it better than Rennala, Queen of the Full Moon? Oh, that was a good scene with a lot going on. That's a very hard question to answer, and it's very like dependent on personal taste, I feel. So it's definitely high A or S. Oh man, it's tough. Is it as good as Malekith? It is quite good. It is quite good. but does it have that sort of spectacle of the first Margit? And the first Margit is so good too. Is it as good as Malenia? I'm gonna say no. It's not as good as Malenia. So I think I could comfortably put it below Malenia. Malekith's probably a question of taste. But dang, with that cutscene at the end too, and all the crazy outros. Oh man, that's tough. I'll put it top of A for now. Let's say top of A. Watch the rest, and see what the S is looking like in the A, and we'll go from there. But yeah, that was incredibly good either way. All right, next I think we're gonna have the end, right?
To see enough.
Pre-DLC anyway, right? Warrior! I want to hear him say warrior again. Warrior! I love it.
Now I fight as Horaloo. Warrior!
I mean, look at the detail on his chest. They literally had him go like this. And you can see the finger scrapes on his chest where he like moved the blood. I mean, that's pretty cool. A lot of detail on the model. All right. Here we go. This one, oh man. I got actual chills during this. I remember when the music starts. That is what's left of the Elden Ring, right? This is Marika. The Elden Ring cracks and shatters what's left of it. And then there's some really interesting lore here and a big reveal in the lore here. So I think this is like really significant. The sound design. Oh, isn't that sound design? And Marika is transforming into Radagon. And that's the reveal right there. A huge reveal in the story that they are one and the same. I got chills, man. The image. Oh, and that cold look. I mean, come on. Cold as ice and the Elden Ring lights up inside. Come on, guys. Come on. Or farming? Or farming for 30 seconds is holding the hammer. Come on. In the reveal that, I mean, and it's guys, it's the title screen music. Like you never once hear it in the game. And then it drops right there and you realize, like right at this moment, we go back again. You realize, because you're already like, wait, what? You realize right here, it just hits like, oh my God, it's the title. And every time you get to the title screen, it's hype as heck. And you realize one very important thing from that music. This is it. This is the end. This is the final battle. And it's just chills inducing. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And then when you start fighting, I mean, just the way that the character moves and walks is just so intimidating and grand and awesome. I mean, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Now, of course, we fight Radagon. Defeat him. Yeah, everything you've done in the game comes to this point. Exactly. That was just so good. And now this part of the music. What's this? Oh, let me ask, actually, Campfire, did you rank Radagon and Elden Beast separate on the list? Like, should I rank them or is it just one? I feel like they're one, right? Yeah, this is phase 2. It's got to be one. But I love this part. So weird. And what happens here? Oh, they are separate. Awesome. Actually, that was a really good call. That was a really good call. Okay, so I will stop there. Oh boy, that is just. I mean, for me, it's got to be S. Because of the, I mean, just the sheer cleverness of that, you know, just the sheer cleverness of having the title screen music finally pop up for me is just, it's very significant. and I think it should be noted. You know, because the first time it happened, I don't know what your reaction was, everybody. First time that happened, I was just, oh man, I was so hyped up. I was so incredibly hyped up and excited, and it feels like, you know, this is a game for a lot of people, it takes hundreds of hours to beat. The first run, you know, the first run. And for me, it definitely had that. So for me, easy S, man. Easy S on that. Where in S, I feel like maybe at the end, we'll really get into the minutia of that if you want, like who's he better than? But holy mama, I think I'm going to put it above Malekith, believe it or not. It's definitely tied with Malekith, maybe above Margit. We'll talk about that later, but yeah, just absolutely on the level. Completely satisfying. And, you know, a game is that long, I feel it really seems like it was worth it. You know, that moment, I feel like it was really good. So anyways, let's watch the Elden Beast one. Actually really cool that you see a direct continuation here with Radagon. And just the, you know, we talked about it again, the lore implications of this scene, like, are immense. The fact that you see the Elden Ring for the first time, right? It's just so significant. You have Marika clearly like speared through with something that you know, imprisoned her here, whatever's going on. And just the character design of having the Elden Ring kind of like exist inside their body and light up like that. I mean, it's just so great. The weapon design's original and awesome. It's just fantastic. And like the Golden Order that you always hear about. Oh, yeah. 10 out of 10. We talk about it all day. I feel that, yeah. Had to Google that to figure out the quest line, yeah. I never did the Gold Mask quest line. Yeah, I never even knew how to start it. I talked to him and he wouldn't talk to me. So that was it for me. All right, here we go. Oh boy. The music is sort of somber, which I like. Really, like, what is this? Now, what's significant is the Elden Beast is like taking back the Elden Ring, which is really significant for the lore. As far as I understand, the Elden Beast brought the Elden Ring here. That's like its purpose in the cosmos. Like, this is the power that was supplying, you know. The music is just haunting and beautiful. And we're getting transported by a space dinosaur. And here goes. Just heavenly music, but otherworldly and terrifying at the same time. Beautiful. So yeah, that is the Elden Beast cutscene, and wow, what a crazy revelation. I love the sword too. The sword kind of mimicking the like DNA strand of the creature is so cool. The Elden Beast is a minion of the Outer Gods, in a sense, an avatar. Love it. Elden Beast was sent from somewhere else. Yeah, that's what I thought. They're like sent. Well, listen, look at the background. You have a bunch of Erd trees that, in my opinion, this feels like the old Dark Souls imagery when you go underneath like the place where the dragons are and stuff. Can't remember what it's called. You see all the tree trunks and all the weird imagery in the distance. It's like, nah, man, there's a lot of Erd trees in different worlds, and there's an Elden Beast in each one of those Erd trees. That's what I got from it. That's my interpretation. I don't know actually if it's confirmed whether any of us are right on that, but that was my interpretation when I first saw it, and I thought it was a really cool. Addition. Yeah. Right before DLC launch, they patched the fight so you could summon Torrent. I heard about that. That's so interesting because yeah, he was hard without Torrent. It was really hard. I can't remember if I ever did it with Torrent because I think I was usually at that point. The DLC launched, like helping friends do it, and it'd be, you know, multiplayer, so no Torrent. Radagon, Marika became the sword. Oh, is that what happened? They became the sword? Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, because they... Oh, that's cool. I never caught that detail in the past. That's very cool. Yeah, that's fantastic. This is it's interesting because I think we have to call the Elden Beast a character, right? Like we do talk about the other characters, how much we get information about them. I think here is deliberately very vague because, you know, they're meant to be just like this cosmic entity that's beyond our comprehension, which I think is really cool. But it's not going to stand, in my opinion, up to, you know, the character of some of the other scenes we got with like great dialogue and kind of insinuations of what's going on here. That being said, the intrigue of this is the mystery. You know, it is the sort of mysteriousness and the spectacle of like, wait, there's something above and beyond America, which is really cool. But I did not catch that detail that they became the sword. That's very fun. That's a really cool detail. And you get that sword, right? Yeah, that's the sword that has the insane ability for farming. But it's fantastic, yeah. Where to rank it? And then we're going to move on to the DLC characters, guys. So we're getting there. We're getting there now. Oh boy. Elden Beast. I personally, I'm feeling B. Now, it's tough because I have to look at the A scenes here. What do we got? We got Godfrey, Rennala, Godrick. Ooh, man, it's tough. Those all have... Yeah, all of those scenes in A have like really cool character stuff that's going on. Is Marika a divinity? Yes, for lack of a better word, Marika is a divinity, but the one distinction is that she is a person who became a divinity. Like she became divine by proving herself in some way, which I still think we don't know what it was, but she proved herself somehow to the powers and she was like awarded the Elden Ring, I think is what happened, right? And then she started the Order of Gold and all that stuff. But she wasn't just like born a god. I think is the story, right, guys? So anyways, I love this. Yeah, Marika and Radagon are gods. Marika was born mortal and ascended. There it is. Yeah, ascended to godhood. Great way to put it. So I'm going to put it at B, just because of the sort of like scene control of the other scenes I think is really strong. Is it better than the Rykard one? I'm going to tell you, the Rykard imagery the first time was just jaw-dropping. Like I said, even though it's a heavy Berserk reference, jaw-dropping. The first time I saw it, even when you see that. So, gonna leave it there for now. We'll measure again when we're done. And now we have 4 more, guys. We have the DLC scene. So I'm just gonna quickly switch to the face camera for a second. We are going to pull up Elden Ring, Shadow Erd Tree. We'll say boss cinematics. I think we'll be fine. Yeah. This is the same channel, so it should be good. Yeah. Oh, you have the link? I think is it by the same guy? I think I've got it. Campfire, thank you. Let me know if you chose a different one and I'll get that link. But I think it's the same one. About 11 minutes. But yes, this is going to be the last few. And I'm actually, this is going to be tough to rank because in a sense, they really upped the ante on these in the DLC. I feel they really just boosted it to a different level. So it's going to be tough, but let's see it. All right, we're starting out with, I believe it's going to be, yep, the Lion Dancer. Oh boy. Heck of a scene, man. Heck of a scene.
Horn-decked beast from higher sphere delivered.
This one's unique because we have like a...
Take root inside the tower sculpted keepers.
We have him remembering.
Perched within, we beg of thee, rise.
They're remembering their duty. Like. So cool. Oh. The double set of teeth is just...
Woe, and those who plague the tower. Cleanse away the strumpet's fire.
He's talking about America, of course. Strumpet. Rude. And then the eyes light up. Oh man, it's so awesome. So awesome. Then of course we linger there and we get that sort of challenge, so to speak, which I love so much. Yeah, it's a great scene. It's very carried by the imagery, in my opinion. Right? The imagery is just so strong, and that is it as a phase 1. Yeah, it's so good. Okay, let's. Oh man, it's gonna be hard to rank. I want to look at it one more time in a little detail. So we get the narration. This is a unique scene for that reason. The jaw being agape really adds to the intimidation factor. Yes, definitely. It's cool because when I first saw this, I think like most of us in the trailer, even like for the DLC, is you're just like, what is that? Like it's really scary, but there's some really cool details in here that they add. If you look closely. For example, it's like he's controlling the jaw. Like, what's this hand controlling it? And then when you look, yeah, there's somebody using it like a puppet, which is such a cool detail. And then, yeah, when you look closely, you'll actually see there's a leg coming out over here where my face is, which you can't see. There's another leg in the back. This is, as far as I know, and chat can correct me if I'm wrong, there's people who've like, you know, packed open the, what's up, Goa? How you doing? There's people who've like cracked open the files of the game. You can see who's under there. It is in fact 2 or 3 people controlling this, like a Chinese lion, which I think is so cool. And really just what an original idea for a boss. And it's just so weird with like the straight teeth in this, like what, like kind of Donkey Kong perfect teeth, and then the really jagged ones on the outside, like ugh, it's unsettling. And like Campfire said, the act of someone like grabbing, controlling the jaw, you got an idea where this fight's gonna be like, right? It's just so good. Yeah, the music was really good too. Angelique, yeah, or angelic. And he just stares you down for like 10 seconds. Just like, it's so good. So yeah, where to put him? It's a bit of a tough one. We get the narration to help us with the character here. That's what's interesting, right? We get like the sort of narration on top of it to aid us in our quest. So it's a bit of a unique scene. I'm feeling. This is a bit of a tough one. I'm feeling B or C. Let me know what you guys think. I'm feeling a comfortable B here. Yeah, we'll see what else happens here, but that feels right to me. I feel almost a C, to be quite honest, because I feel like the narration, like without it, you have absolutely no context of what's going on. And it's a tool that, as far as I know, they haven't really had to use in the other scenes. But it added a lot at the same time. So I think I'm gonna put it at a B for now. Good. They're not really characters that we know anything about. It does teach us about the culture of the world, though, which is really cool, and of the Shadowlands, which we slowly get more and more as we go. So I thought it was really cool. That being said, let's go on to the next one. We're gonna get a banger, I believe, in this one. Yeah. I think, again, being one of the best cutscenes here. And I have done I think I did a breakdown of this on my channel. Yeah.
That tarnished, it seemeth.
It's too good. Too good.
Mother, wouldst thou truly lordship sanction in one so bereft of light?
Yeah, this is one of the best scenes. I think it's him. We play with perspective. We see him on the throne. Mother. Okay, so America.
My purpose standeth unchanged.
Ugh, creepy arms.
Those stripped of the grace of gold shall all meet death.
Incredible imagery. just by itself.
In the embrace of Messmer's flame.
Incredible. And oddly enough, one of the few, after looking at this list, you never think about it like this because the music happens during the fight. One of the very few where music actually takes place in the cutscene. Usually holds and then plays. There's a couple things. I broke this scene down shot for shot on my channel, and I loved it. There's a couple of scenes here, a couple of details here I really like. Did I miss it? There's a shot of him.
Tarnished.
It's so cool. Yeah, he's a fantastic character. Really, really rich character, in fact.
Truly lordship sanction.
I love that line. And of course, here is it the next shot? Where's the shot from behind? Am I losing my mind? Where did this shot take place?
Gold.
So what's cool here is behind him. He has hidden behind the curtains. Okay, it's the phase 2 that I'm thinking about. Hidden, yes, Marika's his mother. And we're going to talk about it in phase 2. If you look at the castle, I can't remember, it's just Messmer's castle, I think. All of the statues of Marika in this place are defaced, are destroyed and ruined because they don't like her. However, in Messmer's private chambers, he has the only undamaged statue of his mother, which for him is, oh, thank you so much, Campfire. That's my breakdown. If you guys want to see it, you demand, Campfire. It's the only statue that's not ruined. So he still has this very childlike, he's probably telling his guards to destroy the statues of his mother, but he holds the true one in there because he still loves her in some way, right? Which is so sad. And you can see her behind him, right?
Shall all meet death.
Fantastic. And the timpani right here.
In the embrace of Messmer's flame.
So good. And just look at him. His voice, I talked about it in my breakdown. The acting is just so drained and so haggard. It's very Dark Souls in that way. I would say even more so than the Elden Ring stuff typically is. He's on his last leg. He's abandoned is his story, right? By his mother. Cursed to wander the Shadowlands because he's like got this insane condition. And now, oh boy, this one's brutal. Here we go. Fantastic scene. Everything about it. And he's a great character, like someone who we've heard about a bit, but in just a couple scenes is a rich character, man.
I will not suffer.
One of the best in the game. Easy. Characterization.
A lord devoid of light.
And listen to the crazed feeling in his voice now. And here's the shot I was thinking of. I was getting confused. That is a statue of Marika holding him as a baby. Very sad, right?
No, mother. Forgive me.
He was exiled here because of what's going on with his eye. And for the first time, he's going to let it out. Ugh. Cracking a rune like we do. Level up. Ah. He put all of his stuff into, all his stats into strength or something here. Low-key, yeah. That's a great point, Campfire. The shadow of his mother. You can't escape it. Clearly. Right? It's driven him insane. And then, how appropriate, the shadow of the serpent that she was ashamed of and banished to the Shadowlands over her in turn, right? This is, to me, again, quintessential From Software here. The reveal, the slow reveal of the horror.
Thou be taken in the jaws of the abyssal serpent, shorn of light.
And you can see the serpent inside his eye, a rune of sorts. Again, the lore here, regardless of the details, which I don't know 100%, I think I've grasped a decent amount of it, it's just enough. In fact, it's richly informative visually in this scene. So fantastic, right? So fantastic. And, you know, we learn so much about this character. I feel like I know him better than any other character in this game from a couple of scenes. It's just so well done, and they really layered it fantastically. So the serpent got banished inside his eye. Actually, I think the serpent was always there when he was born, Neko Lady, and his mother was ashamed of him because he had the serpent curse as a part of him. So she pretty much said, hey, can you go liberate or rather attack the Shadowlands for me? And then she said, you ain't coming home, and just left him there, just abandoned him, and he could never come home. It's like a alternate horrific reality. She just left him there after he like fought this war and did this horrible act of destroying the city for her. Messmer is also similar to his sibling and the twins as well. He becomes a monster to fight the Tarnished. Yeah, exactly. I love that. I wish the eye broke like a rune. It made the rune sound, I think, and you saw the gold come out, so I think that was okay. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's a decent way of explaining it. Let me know if chat has better details, or the comments on YouTube have a better way to explain that. But yeah, I just quintessential Souls. It's a mix of just like intrigue, questions being raised, just answering enough to get you wanting to learn more, like thirsting for more. And, you know, again, check my full cinematic breakdown of just this scene to get me talking about all the individual shots and the camera work as well, to go deeper into it. I'm going a little bit quicker on these because we have like a million to watch. But yeah, it's just one of my favorite scenes in any Souls game, and one of my favorite characters. Neko Lady just said it. It's so sad. And you get all that from this little scene. It's like, man, I don't even want to fight him. You know, at this point, it's like, dang, he was abandoned. I feel terrible for him. So yeah, this to me is, again, like Malekith, just such an easy S, man. And I'm actually putting it above Radagon, which I think is crazy to some of you probably. The big question here is, would I put it above Malenia? And oh my goodness gracious, I think I probably would, man. I think I probably would. It's crazy to say, but it's just that good, man. So I'm gonna put it above Malenia for now. We'll think about it at the end. Margit, oh, it's such a strong introductory scene, man. It's so informative. It's so formative and informative, like of the entire game and the journey and stuff. So, ooh, that's a tough one. But anyways, easy S, guys. Easy S. Let's move on. Could talk about it all day. I love this character. So cool, so sad, so scary. Just perfect scene. This is technically part of his scene too. So we're gonna watch this one as it unlocks the ending. And I think, are we really just skim through here? Oh yeah. No, we got another one. We got another banger coming up. Oh boy. We got another banger coming up. Oh my goodness gracious. This is cool. This is using essentially Messmer's flame, right? For lack of a better term. All he wanted to do was, yeah, that's the sad part, Neko Lady. He just wanted to be loved by his mom, and he's totally abandoned. And the interesting thing is, when you kill him, so sad. That's what makes these games so bittersweet. He's like, I don't want to kill him. When he falls in battle, he actually, I think, curses his mother. It's so sad to see. But he essentially died for nothing. I was like, why am I even here? I was abandoned and gotta fight this guy like I don't even care about. And so it really makes you feel terrible. But yeah, he was just completely discarded by her, and I'm sure she would not mourn him if she were to hear of his passing, you know? Awesome set design. Oh my goodness. So good. And yeah, we're gonna go into another one of my favorites. I believe I either broke down this next one on my channel, or it's just like me and Aaliyah played it on the couples channel, and there's a rich, you know, talk about it on there. So make sure to check it out. And it's of course going to be the Lord of the Frenzied Flame. Oh my goodness gracious. This scene, man. It is just...
Enough.
something different.
I have endured more than enough.
He's been holding back this horrible thing that's stuck in his head for like a million years. Midra, yeah. Here we go. Ah! Every time I see it. Why? Why though?
Forgive me. dearest Nanaya.
His wife. Don't do it, man. Ugh. And then just jaw-dropping imagery here. Like it's actually just arresting imagery. This one, I near shat myself. Unbelievable.
My loyal blade.
Mind-boggling scene. It's super interesting because it's actually really on the short side, but we do get a ton of character and tragedy. We actually at this point actually found Nanaya's body, if I'm remembering correctly, in the manor. So you actually do have a pretty good understanding of what's happening here. That sound at the end, like the hum and rumble of a whale call, sounding like the voice beckoning from the abyss. Yeah, absolute masterful sound design in this, and also just haunting, terrifying. She's a bad person. Yes, he fought a war to avenge his mother's people and was banished to the realm of darkness because of a curse. Yeah, exactly. He's just born with it, right? I mean, this is one of the most brutal like scenes in all of FromSoft history, which is saying a lot. But then after that, and the really good character, I have endured enough. Please forgive me, Nanaya. It's like, what's he gonna do? The drama. He's holding back the frenzied flame, which is, world-destroying, all-consuming flame, essentially, because he tried to grasp it for himself at one point, and then I think it was like these monks came in and used this sword to like seal it inside him, so he could never release it. And if he took out the sword, he would die and release this horror like upon the universe. So he just sat there forever, like with this sword through his face, like suffering and agony. And his wife was like, "You just have to endure forever. Yeah, we can't let this happen." Frenzied flame is chaos. Yeah, perfect place to put it. It's primordial chaos, essentially, right? So, yeah, insane. And then of course this part, like Aaliyah, like what I said when we played her, I'm like, wow. And she's like, "Oh my God, he took it out." I'm like, yeah, he took a lot out. If you know what I'm saying, he took his head out. You know, it's just like, oh my God, so horrific. But it's interesting because when in the earlier part, he's why does this camera keep doing it? He's bent over, he's in agony, he's haggard, and now he's just standing up so like regal. It's terrifying. And there's the flame. The sword effect, like, it's just so cool, the imagery, right? Insane. Yeah, the sound design is just harrowing. It's absolutely terrifying. That shot is, I remember screenshotting it and just being like, this is the craziest thing I've seen. Yeah. Just fantastic. He's like a monk. He is kind of like a monk, yeah, in the fact that he was very austere, I suppose, you know, withering away for whatever, hundreds of years or more, holding back this horror. America became a god to hurt people, not to help people. Yeah, there you go. His design also has a certain elegance. Yeah, exactly. Magic 8 Ball. In the beginning, he's just like this kind of wretch, but at this point, it is really elegant, and it's kind of like this divine imagery. And then the flame is like, they deliberately made it really bright, high key lighting in the frames. It's like, oh my God, and the contrast against the dark background, it's meant to feel, you know, deific, so you can't even behold it and stuff. And then to fight him, he moves very slow and just like, you know, like the power is controlling him. So it's fantastic. And I remember it's funny because in the DLC, in this particular character, I had the frenzied flame. I literally got it at this point from the Erd tree. So I was like this all powerful being who's holding it. So in my personal headcanon, this is what makes these games so fun. I was like, there's only one Lord of Frenzied Flame. There's only room for one of us in town. And it was just awesome. We had this insane battle. And me and Aaliyah had such a fun time doing it. And it is on our couples channel, the entire gameplay, the first discovery of this. So if you want to see it, check it out. We had such a blast with it. And there's some really funny clips. Somehow, speaking of yogurt, I was eating yogurt playing the game. And Midra, this character, cries out like right as Aaliyah was feeding me yogurt. Totally randomly, just as you're walking through the dungeon, not even the cutscene. And it's just such a funny clip. So thanks for linking that, Camp. Yeah, just click on the channel if you want and go find that video. Lots of fun if you want to see my first reactions. But I mean, this is why I was hesitant earlier about all these S's. I'm like, this has to be an S for me, man. I would like to say A, but I mean, I remember the feeling when I saw it, like jaw on the ground, characters, spectacle, just everything, just fantastic stuff. So yeah, it's very hard for me to rank it as anything else, very hard. Thank you for those links, Campfire. I appreciate it. So yeah, just 10 out of 10. Now for the next part, I just want to make sure, let's see, so yeah, I personally am not going to show the post battle of Radahn. Number one, I've not seen it, so because I still haven't beaten Radahn, so I'm not going to do that. Second of all, I don't want to spoil the ending for people who haven't beat the DLC. It's still kind of new, so yeah, or myself. Let's continue. Let us continue.
My loyal blade and champion of the festival.
Here we go.
Both your deeds will ever be praised in song.
Miquella.
Now, the vow will be honored, and my lord brother's soul will return.
Get some
so that he may be my consort.
Awesome imagery that we saw in the trailers where America was, right? When she became a god, I believe. Here we go. This was very unexpected to me, this character coming back like this. But it's cool because it was very tragic to see him how he was in the other scene. Amazing. Really cool character reveal there. Oh, that shot is glorious. And this shot actually echoes what you see in the original like CG trailer for Elden Ring. I think it is a tragedy that is, as far as I know, nowhere to be found in the entire game, right? The original CG trailer, story trailer for this game doesn't exist, right? Not in the game files at all. You'll never see it. You got to go to YouTube to watch it, right? But it does echo that shot that you get there. So I think it's really cool to see him like back to his grand self before he fought Malenia. And we have the grand music too. Awesome. Then we fight him. It is one of the most difficult fights ever. I have gotten to this phase and oh my goodness, is it just pure agony. The wind, man. The wind comes back. Whoa. That is such a cool shot. He's powering up, but we have another contender entering into the battle here.
Lord brother.
Great shot.
At long last you are returned.
He's like, I'm gonna help in this fight, which is insane. Of course, you have the shot here to signify purity compared to his brothers of warrior.
Tarnished one. Aspiring lord of the old order. If you have known sin, if you grieve for this world, then yield the path forward to us.
There's a couple of things that I like here. Like, number one, it's like shocking. And I love how they make him so bright, you know, literally. The way he towers over you in that shot, so good, Campfire. So good. Reminded me again of of the other characters like Margit in the beginning and stuff. Yeah, I mean, this is just so great. The way they present him is so cool. And you can see his like other arms kind of like spiritually around him. So there's just so many cool little details. I also like how Miquella doesn't look at us. It's either that or he's meant to be looking down at us on the ground. But yeah, like don't see his eyes, which is really cool. It's almost like we're not worthy to look at his eyes, which I think is so cool. Right?
Do I, Miquella, and my promised consort, Radahn.
Yeah, it's just such a great shot. So cool. The framing is excellent. Literal perfection. Radahn looks awesome. You can see him at the height of his power. Miquella, again, like I said, if all the other ones were, undergrad, this whole DLC is grad school, right? It's just everything in the lore finally coming together. And of course, interestingly enough, at this point in the lore and the story, like we know so much that there's less room for like super vague platitudes and stuff that kind of, keep us guessing. This is the first time it's like, yeah, we know exactly what's happening. I know what's happening in the scene. He is coming back, got Radahn's soul back into, into Mohg's body, I think is what happened. And yeah, and now he's coming out to help his brother fight. Like, it's all very understandable, which is so rare for these games. And I think a lot of people would actually rub them the wrong way, which is so funny because they're so used to being like completely in the dark on the story. I actually like this. I prefer this. I think if you make it too vague, then it's just like I love Bloodborne so much, and this is such a rich story. I think they should have made it a little less vague because it's so good. Love the divine gate in the background frames the character. Yeah, it's a beautiful frame. I mean, we talk about the composition all night. You have this beautiful, beautiful leading line, and of course the sun cresting over the top of this divine gate, which then brings down the light and connects to Miquella, whose hair completely envelops his brother. And you can see he's, kind of gracing him with his divinity. And it's just like, it's a beautiful shot. The colors are great too. The green and the yellow and the gold are just so strong and prominent, and stand out against like the very brown imagery of Radahn, It's fantastic. Yeah, it's fantastic. I think we won't watch the ending in case, to spoil it for people. Like I said, hair is beautiful. Yeah, he's got good hair. He's got good hair, ladies and gentlemen. So you gotta love it. And here we are, guys. We're at our final score here. How are we gonna do it? Oh, goodness gracious. We are gonna have to, I mean, this is actually really hard. Like, for the reasons that I talked about earlier, it's actually less asking questions, more giving us answers, which is certainly not a bad thing by any means. But at the same time, how does it compare up to these just powerhouse scenes? I personally feel these scenes are not as strong as Messmer. As far as teaching us about the sort of like personality and struggle of the character, we're certainly not getting that with Miquella. We're getting just pure divinity, pure confidence, to the point where he's like, why not just die so we can win? Because we're right. It's actually really creepy, though. He's so nice. That's a really cool twist. I'm trying to decide between A or S. I think it's very easy just to say S. I do want to look at it just for a second. These other scenes. So let's see. Midra. Midra was so good, man. Radagon, amazing. Malekith, amazing. Malenia, Messmer. Yeah. Well, how about this? Let's go ahead and say S, because I mean, come on. It's a fantastic scene. I'm tempted to say A, highest A maybe. So I'll either say highest A or lower end of S. Personally speaking, I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you think that's a travesty, I do think that it's a great scene. Does not hit as hard as these other ones though for me. I mean, those are just like the best period in Soulsborne history, in my opinion. I guess we're not including Dark Souls on this list, but you know what I mean? Like, as far as Elden Ring, they stand at the top of the top. And almost all Dark Souls bosses don't have anything except for like Dark Souls 3. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. It's been a minute. But yes, these are fantastic. I easily put him somewhere in here, bottom of S or top of A. So yeah, man, that's my rankings. I love this game. I love the scenes. I can't wait to see for Night Rain. I assume in Night Rain we're not going to get any story, because it's just this like fun kind of hodgepodge of insanity. S tier, the second phase scene really conveys the sense that this is it. Yeah, I agree with you. This is the final battle. Yeah, you are at the divine gate, the literal threshold to godhood. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it really does convey this is the end. And then when we look at that, it's interesting now because like we all played Elden Ring. I would assume like 90% of us played Elden Ring, beat it, then did the DLC. I'm really curious for someone who's played it the first time because, dude, like the Messmer scene is just such a cut above most of the scenes in the game, that I would say, I'm really curious how they would react to like playing it in order now, like someone who picks up the game today. I'd be really curious how they react to that, because you see like the Messmer scene, then you beat Radahn, and then you go back and beat Marika, right? Like if you got the game today, so that's super interesting. Like after Mohg, I just read that Godfrey is Marika's first husband. Yep, he's Marika's first husband. The guy with the lion, Neko, like the big barbarian guy. Yeah. So it's interesting stuff. You gotta love it. But I think it's fantastic. There's so many great scenes. My personal favorites, kind of removing myself, and I don't know how you're supposed to do tier list. Are you supposed to make it completely like your own opinion, or are you trying to, speak a little bit more objectively? You know what I mean? Like, how are you supposed to do that? But my personal favorites are definitely Margit, Messmer, Malenia, Malekith. Like, absolutely. Those are just so good to me that they are completely mind-blowing. But I think even from an objective standpoint, from a purely technical point of view, as far as the filmmaking, as far as the storytelling, as far as the characterization, is just those still belong there. Yeah, I think they're really good. And they had a personal effect on me that was very strong. And everybody I talked to was like, oh my goodness, Midra, jaw-dropping scene. And I think it's so hard to choose Midra or Malekith. Push come to shove, I'd probably put Midra above, again, because the Berserk influence is really heavy there, but still so original. It's your opinion, but some people try to put their foot down and convey the idea that they are the absolute authority. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I mean, I think I personally take a different approach to videos than I see most people do. Even though I have some level of skills in filmmaking, I don't like to, number one, crap on stuff. I think it's just rude. I think it's useless to the fans. Like, who wants to click on a video of their favorite thing and be like, oh, I wonder what this guy thinks, and be like, oh, he hates it and says it's garbage. Pretty much saying I'm an idiot for liking this. Wow. I feel terrible now. You know what I mean? Like, I hate stuff like that. I think it's so stupid. I mean, you'll see me like once in a while give a, I wouldn't even call it feedback. Once in a while I'll be like in a blue mood. It's quite rare. I'll be like, oh, I love that shot. I would have actually like held it even longer, or even like, move the camera up a little bit to get that, like pretty much saying I liked it so much, I would emphasize it more, stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, I don't like to do the opposite too, which is like, this is the best because I know everything, kind of using positivity like that equally, I think is kind of dumb. So anyway, that's just me. But I do tell you guys the stuff I really like, if that makes sense. Radagon. Yes. Radagon is her second husband, the one she turned into. You just figured it out. Yes. And how crazy that is. That's actually what happened. So there's a lot of things throughout the lore where you're like, okay, Radagon married this person and did that, but then abandoned that person and married Marika. But of course, at the end, you realize they're the same person. So Marika was kind of playing a lot of different sides, kind of like Emperor Palpatine in a really clever way, right? I think is one way to put it. And let me know if you guys would agree with that. But it's pretty cool stuff. Interestingly enough, also had children in that marriage. So you have to figure that one out. But I think it's pretty awesome. Also, this is George Martin we're talking about, so, par for the course. But anyway, Radagon married Rennala. Yeah, exactly. Chill and humble. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I try to be, nobody's perfect. But I guess my main point is I never want to I never want to just crap on somebody's favorites. I think it's so annoying. Like I will, sometimes make the wrong choice and be like, oh, I want to look, I just finished a book the other day, Wind and Truth, one of my favorite books, one of my favorite series, if not my favorite series ever. I was like, oh, let me see some reviews. Like 5 minutes into looking at reviews, I was like, good God, what have I done? This is the worst decision ever. This is the horrible opinions that I think are so weird and misinformed, like, and just coming from a place of negativity, we're a chill and humble community here. Wholesome too. Yeah. And listen, that's why I always say this, man. A lot of people will make stuff up and focus on negativity because it gets clicks, man. It gets people arguing in the comments. There's a reason they do this. It's for money. It's a very simple reason, So a lot of people don't believe half the stuff they're saying. I gotta tell me I was defending the Acolyte. Awesome. Yeah. Defend the Acolyte. Go for it. Like, you know what I mean? If you like something, amazing. Incredible. I think I saw the first couple episodes of the Acolyte. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, defend your stuff, man. And more importantly, I would say don't defend it. Just find people who, will enjoy it with you and enjoy it. Like, because 90% of the stuff you'll see out there is just a grift. They're doing it for cash. Like they're literally going to be like, what's going to get the most comments? If I made the tier list and I was like, all the S ones that I put are actually garbage. Yeah. Because that's going to get the most comments on this video. People saying, what are you talking about, dude? Radagon was a great scene. And I could say, no, well, actually, I'm an expert in filmmaking, and I say it's not. Like, people do that all the time just to get clicks, So you got to watch out for that. And just remember that it's also just somebody's opinion, man. Who cares? Who cares? Don't let people's opinions stop you from enjoying stuff. I don't care what stuff you enjoy. Chill and humble community. Yeah, man. We that's what I try to garner here. And also, like, I just think it's really mean to try and tell people that they shouldn't like the stuff, that they're dumb for liking. It's just such a mean-spirited and useless thing. Heard about Elden Ring, but never gameplay. Now I want to see it. Yes, it's really good, Neko Lady. It's really good. And the charm of these games is actually the gameplay, believe it or not the story. There's a joy and peace in the story together, but it's very much the gameplay is where the sauce is. Yeah. That's really good. If you want to get into it and you don't want to play it and you don't like card games, go to what's his name? Shout out to him, Vati Vidya. He's got all the lore videos that are like really, really well produced, and he's gotten better over the years. And he has like a team help him make in-game camera work and stuff. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, really fun to watch. I've seen a lot of film reviews. One of my favorite, but yeah, man, watch out for film reviews too. I'm going to tell you straight up. Yeah, a lot of people very disingenuous, very pseudo-intellectual, very arrogant, and they kind of get drunk on their own drink, so to speak. And oh man, dude, they act like they're better than, or they know more about filmmaking than like whoever, any of the great directors. And it's just like, what? Who are you? Like, why are you talking with extreme authority and saying like this is bad? It's like, well, dang, man. Let's see the stuff you've worked on. It's like, oh, you never have. Okay. Yeah, it drives me crazy. I don't like stuff. I don't like that sort of mean attitude. One of my favorite books I discovered from the movie, reading the reviews, listening to the direction. The Suits decided to chop up the film. Oh no. Confusing scenes with missing parts. Yeah, man. There it is again. It always comes down to money. Night of sarcasm. It always comes down to money, and it's a very sad thing to see. But that's just how it is. I was actually just talking with some friends earlier about how when we were like super young, uber young, we used to just like organize film shoots and do them just kind of before social media. It was around, but like kind of before social media as it exists today. And, in the modern sort of format. And we were just doing it for the love of doing it. It's really fascinating. Like, and that pretty much is impossible in today's world, at least professionally. It just can't happen. Like, because it's all about, it's all about the money. Because it's, there are people funding it who need their money and stuff. And that's just the nature of the world, right? Of a capitalist world. But it's fascinating to think about. Like, when was the last time you just created something because you wanted to, with no expectation of like getting anything for even validation? It's a really fascinating thing. You know, me and Aaliyah do it a lot. We'll draw, we write all the time. We just have a great time and have creative time together. But yeah, it's interesting. It's almost impossible to do. In today's world, Vanti Vidya is a premier Soulsborne expert. Yeah, he's really good. And for me, you know, with the stuff I like, he's got really good production value. He's got a good voice. He does some really creative camera work in the game. It's a lot of fun. Back in the day, I was in comic shops and video stores. Now he's everywhere online. Yep. There you go. I form my own opinion. Yeah, that's what you want, Echo Lady. Yeah, focus on forming your own opinion. Definitely. And I would say, like, because it is fun once in a while to like see reviews. For example, like I have my friends in the Final Fantasy community who cover like Rebirth and FF7 Remake and stuff like that. Final Fantasy 16. I trust their opinions because I know they're not like coming from a place of XYZ, you know what I mean? Of disingenuous nature. So there are people, I recommend finding reviewers that you trust on certain things and you know they're not doing it for cash only and is just spouting baloney to get comments, etc., etc. You know, find someone who you know is genuine and you trust. Yeah, otherwise you're just gonna find people who you don't even know if you can trust what they're saying, if they're even genuinely trying to engage with the art, you know. A lot of people also have a personal agenda against something and they'll just be like, yeah, I'm going into this to completely tear it apart. You know what I mean? So that's a thing too. So you might not know that and get kind of blindsided by it. The movie starred a very young Ian McKellen. Oh, really? That's awesome. Character was missing pieces. Really? The book helped me bridge the holes. That's crazy. Sarcasm, but it makes sense. Very common. We made the Philidari because we just wanted to. Yeah, exactly. There you go. The Philidari. And it's a community that now functions and does stuff. And it's just so beautiful to watch that take off on like raid night and the stuff that you guys do. That's a perfect example. When I saw your videos, Phil, I really enjoyed what you did with WoW Cinematic. Thank you. Thank you so much, Saint. I really appreciate it. Yeah. And again, like my mission with that was like, okay, people love these things. I want to figure out why you guys love them. And hopefully through that, I found a way to love them myself. Right. And that's what that journey was. It ended up being this really fun thing. And also like providing a space for you guys to gush over your favorite thing is one of my favorite things to do. Because just seeing enthusiasm for something and like, you know, giving you guys a place to hang out and talk about it, whether it's when we're playing WoW or, you know, back in when we were on that journey watching videos every day, like it's fantastic. So very, very good. Really enjoyed, yeah, I appreciate that, Angelic. Thank you. But anyways, I had so much fun doing this, guys. This was something a little bit different. I haven't done a tier list in a minute since I think like did the one with Aaliyah for Genshin. That was really fun. But this was great, man. I love these games. I love it. And I caught so much stuff here that I never even caught in the game. Like seeing the, I'll put on some music for a second as we finish, you know, seeing the, how do you call it? The wind and stuff. Never picked up on that because it's just, you know, there'll be like 30 hours in between one of these scenes, right? When you play it like that. So I think it was really cool to be able to watch them in that way. And this is what's fun about studying film and just breaking down your favorite scenes and stuff is you'll pick up on stuff and be like, that's what the artists were probably trying to do there, or not, or it was coincidence. And that's kind of what is cool. Stuff like that can just happen per chance, but I think that was definitely deliberate, or at least just a pattern that they were in the habit of doing, which then told a really compelling story in that way. So. Anyways, it's awesome. I love it. That was a really fun, just cinematic breakdown too, aside from saying which was cool, which was our favorite one. So I hope you guys liked it. If you didn't agree with my choices on this, please go ahead and let me know how you would have ranked them. I would love to hear it in the comments. And also make sure to subscribe if you're new over here on YouTube. Follow on Twitch if you want to chat live and participate in these conversations. As well, really, really fun. Hop in our Discord if you want to talk about video games and find our lovely community and spend time with them. Go for it. But yeah, I had so much fun, guys. Thanks for joining me. I'm gonna call it there. I think we're gonna call it. Yeah, thanks for the follow, Angelic. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's sleepy time. It's nap time, I think. Let me know if you ever want to make a cinematic. Thank you so much, Campfire. I appreciate that. I really appreciate it. You guys have a great night. I will talk to you soon. And like I said, you know, make sure to follow for more because we got more on the way. All right, guys. Take care. Good night.